Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back. Long time no see. So what happened was the judge came back for a split second and said, okay, let's get the jury in. And that's when I'm like, okay, now we're ready to go. Because we know when he says that it's still another 10 minutes or so. So welcome back to day 10, the afternoon session in the Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles trial. That was a little bit of a rough morning, but don't worry. I will make sure I trim it down to the most important parts, meaning all the waffle at the end and the waiting around. I normally trim that out so that replay watchers don't have to wonder if they're missing anything. You missed nothing, really. So what they decided before the break was, well, the whole debate was, are they going to allow jail calls in or not? 5 of them. And the judge said yes. Oh. Are we just hearing it? I think they're testing the sound. They're testing the sound. Cameraman, the sound sounds great. From the little snippet we heard, just hold on. You guys might not have heard that. Just wait. It was only on for a second. From the little snippet that I heard, I think they're testing the sound of the calls. So they're going to be playing 5 jail calls. I don't know if we'll see the emails as well, the email exchange that Burgos had with who knows who. But we'll have 3 calls between him and his wife, Amy. Today it was actually confirmed, even though Detective Reyes said ex-spouse. That's where we all like, okay, well then ex-spouse. It makes sense, right? However, yeah, Stefan says we're in the warm-up phase. We are in the warm-up phase. However, Detective Reyes said ex-spouse. But today it was confirmed they're not divorced yet. And someone had emailed me to say that the attorneys had asked Amy not to divorce Burgos yet. That she should wait for after the trial, which is probably to protect her as well, so she doesn't have to testify against him. I don't know, something like that. So, yes. Mary says, so replay watchers miss all the fluff? Yep. You don't want the fluff. We just sit around waiting and talking and, it's not nice for replay watchers, so. Yes, and then I get more troll comments than anything else as well. Of like, oh my word, you talk so much, like, can you just get to it? Like, it's not a video, it's a trial, and we waited around for hours. So, I'm glad that they tested just a little snippet there. And here we wait. I sound like the judge. Everybody, big sigh, big sigh. It was a nice little break, though. I managed to have some dinner. It's almost 9 o'clock for me. I had some dinner. I did make another coffee. Now, I know I don't normally have coffee at 9 o'clock at night, but like, damn, we need the energy. So thank you so much to everyone who's bought me a coffee. Thank you for buying the mods a coffee as well. Really appreciate it. 70 PE1 says, I'd like to know if Sahara is the Z from yesterday or if it's another side chick. Well, we don't know who Sahara is. I mean, it might be, I don't know, like a sister or a friend, or we don't know who that is. I don't think that it would be the one from yesterday, because yesterday they protected her name by saying Z, right? Okay, what are we hearing? Wait. What's happening here? What's happening? I want to refresh the screen. Is it happening? Refresh. No? Okay, and we boosted the sound. So, yeah, I just thought, oh, we're coming back now? What's happening? Okay. Pistol Amy says, Grizzly Triggerheim, your troll voice. Do I have a troll voice? Yeah, Pirate says, heard a cough. I heard a little rustle in the courtroom. So, as you can see, no matter how long we wait, no matter when we start, there's still always time of waiting around. Yes. How do you know? Blessed Mom from Texas says, no, it's the same person. How do you know? Janet's like, hot mic? Okay, so please like and share so that others know that we are live right now, in case they didn't get the notification, because it was such a long unofficial lunch break that maybe some people don't know or they lost patience. So if you can like the video and share it with the hashtags, hashtag Ronald Burgos-Aviles trial. That would be great. Also, Grizzly True Crime. That would help. And then just let people know we are live, okay? Christine Kingsbury says, gee, and I thought I had patience, but... Mrs. E said, they just protected her account name, not real name. It might be her. Okay, it might be. Lieutenant Peter Pranzo saying good afternoon or evening to all the Grizzlies. Oh my gosh. H2O Delira says, following a group on Facebook and someone posted the girl on Facebook. I don't know if they should do that. Do they know how the internet goes? That people will really, really harass and bother those people? Okay. Emma Spruce says, definitely not a sister or a friend. They were talking about being together no matter what and referred as a girlfriend. Imagine. So Tesla says, text would be protected, maybe. Jail calls not. Maybe same Z. Juliet says, I think they're still testing. Yeah, and so we wait. Paula, what's buffering? Is that us waiting? Probably. Okay, and P says, just got caught up on the AM part of the trial. And you gathered that at the end there was nothing much going on. The morning was pretty good. We heard from witness Jose Luis Macias, a mental health professional from the Webb County Jail. He performs mental health assessments on inmates who do the intake, and he assessed Burgos on the 10th of April of 2018. So we'll look at that quickly now. Liza says, all we need is for this SOB to hook up with Latisha. Oh, man. Oh, my word. Imagine that. No. This is true. MEA or Mia says, I think people forget it's not about us. It's about the judge and the prosecutors doing correctly. So RABA doesn't get out on a technicality. I hate the wait, but to say that they aren't doing the job. No, they are. I agree. They are. Especially on a death penalty case, right? So the witness, Jose Luis Macias, from the Webb County Jail, mental health professional, saw Burgos on April 10th of 2018, the day after the murders, the day after he was arrested. Thank you, Cece Neves, for sharing my live on Facebook. I really appreciate that. And he said that Burgos had no signs of depression, no delusions. He knew, he gathered he was from Puerto Rico, a Border Patrol agent. He said he was upset and embarrassed. That's what Burgos said. The only feeling that he described was being upset and embarrassed. Not remorseful, not in a state, not crying, just embarrassed. Wow. He said in 2012 he had suicidal ideation due to marital problems. He denied hallucinations and delusions. He denied suicidal and homicidal ideations. And he was then put on suicide watch. I know YouTube doesn't like that word. I'm saying it's very hard to say unalive watch or something. Anyway, so he was put on that in his green gown. Didn't like it. He complained that the room was just too cold and he didn't have a mattress. Okay? And so, just hold on one second. And so, I think he thought by saying that he's going to get better privileges, and then he complained about it. So later, he signed a contract with the jail to say he's no longer suicidal or ideating anything, and he never had. He changed his story quite a lot too. But later, he was assessed again in October of 2018 because he was back in the green gown. Welcome back, everyone. Day 10, afternoon session. Siri is... that's the judge's Siri. Thank you so much for being here and watching with us. If you want to watch live with us, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and click notify me on all upcoming live streams. Here's the judge. We see him. We hear court noises. Janet says buckles.
Thank you all. Please have a seat. And the state will call its next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Dana Sarkis.
Ms. Sarkis. I understand that you've already been sworn in. You may begin when ready.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sarkis.
Good afternoon.
And just for the record, your full name is?
Dana Sarkis
Thank you. And where are you employed?
at the Webb County Sheriff's Office.
What is it that you do at the Webb County's Sheriff's Office?
I'm an intel supervisor for the Webb County Jail.
As an intel supervisor, what is it that your duties consist of?
We monitor jail phone calls and any incoming information from outside agencies.
And is it just yourself, or are there other individuals that you supervise?
We have other intel analysts there.
What do the intel analysts do?
They monitor phone calls, monitor jail cameras, any information coming in, any outgoing information.
As a supervisor, do you also supervise, or do you also monitor some of the information, whether it's a email or a telephone call?
Yes.
Why does the Webb County Jail, under the watch of the Webb County Sheriffs, monitor the information that goes in and out of the jail?
For the safety of the jail, the safety of the inmates.
And what authority do you have as an intel analyst to monitor these communications? What do you do?
It's a common practice that any facility has with inmates, and it's also through the Texas Commission of Jail Standards.
Is it common practice to allow inmates at the jail to have both types of communication, telephone calls and emails?
Yes.
And are you familiar with the system that is in place to allow inmates to make these communications, whether it's an email or a phone call?
Yes.
Now, my understanding is that recently the telephone communication changed. So for now, I want to talk about the communication system that was in place in 2018. Until when did the communication system change?
December of 2022.
Okay, so from 2018, when Mr. Burgos first became an inmate at the Webb County Jail, to November, December of 2022, what was the name of the communication system that existed at the time?
IC Solutions.
Okay. And was this IC, it was IC or ICS communications?
IC Solutions. So
IC
ICS
Solutions.
for short, IC Solutions.
Is this communication system, are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the name of the new system that was implemented in 2022?
Smart Communications.
And these two systems are solely for allowing the either jail calls or emails, correct?
Correct.
Now, how is it, or do these communication systems automatically log an incoming call or an outgoing call or an incoming message or an outgoing message?
Yes.
And so that is a log. Do they also, do these systems, do they record the activity, not necessarily? So we talked about the communications, the log of the communications, the timing and stuff. What about the contents of these communications?
Yes.
Both email and
Phone
telephone.
calls. Yes, ma'am.
And they are done automatically
Yes, by the system.
as they are occurring.
Yes.
Do you know if this is a common practice, or if this is of these records kept in the regular conducted business of the Webb County Jail?
Yes.
And is it is making the record of these jail calls and emails the regular practice of the Webb County Jail.
Yes.
In these systems, and I'm going to ask you to explain to the jury how it is an individual would allow access or make it accessible to either a jail call, to any calls or any emails. But I'd like to ask you, are there, do you have access to the logs of the messages, both calls and emails?
Yes.
And are you able to manipulate or to request that this information be organized in a manner, for example, based on telephone number that the calls are made out to?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
No.
I'm tendering to you State's Exhibit 573, 574,
Okay.
575, 576, 577, and 578.
Imagine all the calls and things
ask
that
you
she
if you
hears.
recognize them.
Yes.
All the emails. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Are these true and correct copies of the logs that are maintained pursuant to or as part of both the SMART system and the ICS system?
Uh-huh. Yes.
I'm tendering to the defense for review 573 through 578 for the review and offering it to evidence under the business record.
If they object now, we'll all be like, what? It looks like Burgos is looking through his own copies here too, preparing for humiliation. You better be prepared.
State's offering 573 through 577, Your Honor.
No objection.
Admitted.
Thank you.
578 or 77?
Oh. Sorry, it's at 578.
Admitted.
Thank you. Now, I want to, before I publish these, I'd like to, well, actually, it may help. I'm going to show you States 573 and ask you to explain to the jury how an inmate would set up the access to receive a jail call, first under the old system, because these documents have both under ICS and under SMART
Right.
solution, correct? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to please explain to the jury how an inmate who wants to have access to the jail calls or to make telephone calls or receive them, how they would go about doing so under the old system, which is the ICS.
So when you're first booked ever at the Webb County Jail, there's above the phones, there's steps on how to create and generate a PIN. So the Webb County Jail will provide you with an ID/ISO number that is unique to you, and then you need to create your own PIN number that you create with whatever numbers you want, and you need to state United States of America and your name.
Okay. Now, is the way, now, when somebody registers a phone number, for example, under the old system, which is the ICS solutions, correct?
Yes.
Back then, will you share with the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how these identifiers pertain or show that they are uniquely for a specific individual at the jail?
Right, so in this page you can see that it's the inmate ID That inmate ID is given to the inmate, and then you can see the last name, the phone number that they're calling, and then the first name towards the very, very right.
First name.
That. Mm-hmm.
And so this would be the ID number for Mr. Burgos-Aviles?
Yes, so when you are doing the phone call, they'll tell you to add the ID number followed by your PIN, and you would put it together to make the phone call.
And this is to verify that these calls are made by Mr. Burgos?
Yes.
Now, how is it that you determine the registered name for the phone number? For example, in this situation, or in this State's Exhibit 573, we've asked you, the state asked you to organize them by phone number, correct?
Correct.
And could you tell me who phone number? Will you explain to how it is that the jail facility maintains records of how that phone number or who that phone number is registered to?
With the jail call context, you can see that they're calling each other wife, or, they go into detail about kids and things like that. It's all with the jail's phone calls.
Now let me ask you, is there in the new system, this was in the ICS system, in the Smart Solutions,
Yeah, like why they have to stream her number? Don't call Amy, you guys. Don't you dare. What? I'm looking forward to hearing these calls.
it's presented in a slightly different manner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, will you explain how this system, an individual is registered to make the calls?
Yes, so in the new system with Smart Communications, you need to create a username. You need to provide your name, your last name, your date of birth, an address, an email address, and sometimes it even catches the IP address. So that's another way to identify who they're calling.
And when you say you need to register this, who are you referring to needs to register this?
The person that wants to receive calls from the inmate.
So does the Webb County Jail have a record of the person who registered this call to?
Yes,
Okay, or from, actually, right?
call to, and that would be Amy Burgos.
Okay. And this is maintained as part of your records under the system?
Yes.
Now, I noticed that there are different phone numbers, correct?
Correct.
Can you explain the distinction or why there are two phone numbers associated to this registered name of Amy Burgos?
We assume,
Judge, objection, may we approach? Is this being broadcast on streaming Ms. Burgos'
Yes, it is.
personal number?
It literally is. It is. I understand his objection.
Your
The
Honor,
whole
in order for me to bring the records in and to identify them, this
the
is
whole
why.
internet is
May we
listening.
approach?
Go ahead.
Shame. I really hope she changes her number. Because was it necessary to read her number? They wouldn't show us the text, you know what I mean? Like, let us read it. As they normally put it on this, whatever you call it. So I don't know if that was to protect numbers, but now it's just like, the number is 555, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, man. So I like Boggs' objection here, because I'm feeling protective already. Like, what the hell? Bev says, are they watching you again, G? Maybe. Sometimes they do. Sometimes we've had suspicions, and later we found out they were. Yes, whoever they are. I don't know which ones are allowed to or not allowed to. Some people are there. They're watching. Okay, so Melissa says, jails and prison are becoming more technologically capable. In Texas, email and iPads are available. I think it'll be ultimate punishment to just deny them all technology. Because especially if they're in the free world now, right, with all the technology, to then be incarcerated and like no phones, no TV, no movies, no tablets, that would be amazing. I think that's the right punishment. Regina says there are some longer than 31 years. Was put on death row in 1979. Not Webb County though. Who was put? You? Who was put there, Regina? I just looked at texas.gov and it says, what is the longest time? Most wait for over a decade, some for 20 years. And let's have a look at this. There's many little facts here. Death row was in the east building of the Huntsville unit from 1928 to 1952. From 1952 until 1965, the electric chair was in a building by the east wall of the Huntsville unit. Okay, let's just see. I'm just trying to see how long it is. Shortest time on death row prior to execution. Joe Gonzalez, 252 days. That was in 1996. Stephen Renfro, 263 days. Longest time on death row, 31 years in Texas. David Lee Powell, that was in 2010. And Lester Bauer in 2015. Van says, I would only allow them one TV that shows Mr. Bean 24/7 on loop, the ultimate punishment. But they might... What if they like it, though? I really hope so, Rochelle. I really hope you're right. Rochelle Pronzo, married to Lieutenant Peter Pronzo from the NYPD, Harlem Raiders, says, I'm sure once their phones were taken for investigation, all numbers have become obsolete. They all probably have new ones. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're arguing nicely now. Sorry if there's any background noise. It could be Fury, I don't know. Anyway, so the shortest, 252 days, that was in 96 and 98, and the longest, 2010, 2015, that was 31 years. The youngest at the time of execution was 24 years old, and the oldest at the time of execution was 78 years old. This is in Texas. Objection Cake says, what do we want? Jail calls. When do we want them? Now. And you clap, exactly. What are they saying now? Yeah. Mine Entwine says that will be cruel and unusual punishment. No phone, etc. I think it'll be the right punishment. No tech. Whew, they won't make it. TT Happy Rock says Florida seems to have sped up its death penalty time. Wonder if Texas will follow suit. I do think it's ridiculously long. Oh boy. Alpaca Renee says, and then the prisoners sell their PIN numbers to other prisoners in exchange for commissary items. Ooh, the judge's face. He's like, what is it now? I really hope that's not a number. Whew, what a trial, you guys. Phase 2. They were not joking when they said that this could take longer than the first phase. We can tell. It'll be far less productive, but very important, because now it's about the penalty phase, the sentencing phase. I can't wait for sentencing. We will be here together. Will it be at the end of this week? Or will it be at the end of next week? That is the question. Leslie P says, lots of appeals in Texas. Yeah, Peanuts Nana says, no need to read the full phone number for live stream. I agree. There was no need to read the full phone number, right? Okay, I think we could get the sound back on. What is Burgos saying now? Oh, he's giving him quite the look. Look. He's like, I'm so sorry, man. They're still going to play the jail calls. Yeah, Burgos is looking unimpressed right now, which we don't care about. I'm just making an observation. Shame. The witness just has to sit there. Regina, I'll check. I don't see an email yet. But I did get that from texas.gov, where I've been reading from. Oh my word. Is the judge texting now? Oh man. NEP says Grizzly to crime. They may have just realized they used his full name on camera earlier over and over again. I hope not. If that, I really hope. I'm hoping it's not the same person, or is it? Nyanya, is it Nyanya or Nini? In South Africa, this is Nyanya for not for. The lawyer should have said the phone number ending in 1234 exactly. I wonder, what is the judge doing? Is he reading? Is he texting? Is he just trying to keep his cool? Don't worry, Judge, it's gonna be okay.
And for the record, did you go through and separate and organize the business records, the logs, by phone numbers?
Yes.
And you confirmed and verified that these phone numbers belong to specific individuals?
Yes.
Now, on State's Exhibit 573, there was 2 phone numbers associated with her.
Correct.
And you were able to confirm that they were registered to Amy Burgos.
Correct.
And I want you to, in addition to organize in a certain way, we asked you to let us know or to inform the jury how many phone calls in the time span that he's been there, how many phone calls were made in the duration of his stay here at the Webb County Jail.
For ICS, it was a total of 2,269 calls.
Okay. And for smart communication?
Let me verify that. Hmm. 51.
Okay. And these were to Amy Burgos?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to do the same with these, and I just, for the purpose of verifying that the registered owners for the phone numbers that are within these documents were in fact registered to these individuals.
Yes.
I'm going to now show you 574 and ask you again. The documents or the logs that are contained within 574, did you confirm that the phone number that is identified within was registered to Guillermina Aguilar?
Yes.
And as part of your, what is it, Intel analyst, were you able to determine that Guillermina Aguilar is Mr. Burgos-Aviles' grandmother?
Correct.
Okay. And how many phone calls under the ICS system were made using that system?
2,099.
And for the new system?
254.
Okay, thank you. On 575. Again, were you able to confirm, as as part of your duties, that the phone number contained within is associated to the registered owner or registered to Marisol Aviles.
Correct.
And is, as an analyst, you or those that work under you were able to determine that Marisol Aviles is Mr. Burgos-Aviles' mother.
Correct.
States Exhibit 576, again, the phone number contained within, is it registered in your records to belong to Carlos Burgos?
Correct.
And he is, from your analysis, is the father of Mr. Burgos-Aviles?
Correct.
Ronald Burgos-Aviles.
Correct.
Two more. On States Exhibit 577, there are the phone number contained within. The registered owner you have verified was Amanda Buxton.
Correct.
And how many calls using the ICS system
50.
and the smart communication system?
0.
And then 578, Sahara Cambron. And under, did your records indicate that the phone number contained within belonged to registered owner or the registered name of Sahara Cambron?
Correct.
And how many calls were made using the ICS calls?
58 calls.
And the smart communication calls?
235.
And when did the smart communication calls come into play?
December 2022.
So in the last 6 months, those are the calls that have been made.
Correct.
And for Amy Burgos, his wife, smart communications, it was in the last 6 months?
Correct.
And how many communications or how many calls were made to Miss Amy Burgos?
51.
Now, will you describe how an inmate has access or the protocols followed for an inmate to have access to the phone or device allowing email communications?
So in each cell, depending how big or how small the cell is, there's a certain amount of tablets that allow you to be able to message with whoever's registered under, that account for the smart communications. With ICS, we never had messages, just phone calls.
So the messaging just began in December, in late 2022.
Yes, December 2022.
And do they have free access or access to this 24/7, or are there certain time frames?
From 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. 11 p.m. it would be lockdown, and the inmate need to turn it into the guards, and they put them to charge in a charging portal.
Now, I believe that there's a difference in the manner in which an individual can request to receive calls from somebody who's at the jail under the ICS and under the smart, is it smart
Communication.
communication? Does the smart communication require that the registered caller set up an account for it to be paid by them?
Correct.
And did the other system, the ICS, require this?
Same thing, yes.
Now, are you familiar with Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles?
Yes,
How is it that you're familiar with him?
because he's housed at the Webb County Jail.
Have you ever met him?
Maybe once or twice.
Are you familiar with his voice?
Yes.
How is it that you're familiar with his voice?
After being in the jail for 4 years and listening to his calls, you get familiarized with the voices of certain inmates.
And then at the beginning of each call, is that identifier that you referred to in your testimony earlier also documented within the ICS system or your record, the way you record these calls?
Yes, they have to state their name.
And do they also have to use a unique identifier?
Correct.
Were you and the other analysts monitoring the emails and the phone calls of Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles.
Yes.
And the individuals that we mentioned are the individuals that he has been communicating with.
Correct.
And may I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 579 and ask you to recognize it.
Yes, I do.
Tendering to the defense, State's Exhibit 579, which contains the phone calls that have been provided through discovery to the defense and we're offering to evidence.
Subject to our previous objections, Your Honor.
Very well. Are you offering?
Yes, Your Honor, State's offers 579.
And same ruling to the court as our earlier discussion outside of the jury, and it has been adopted. The exhibit has
Permission to publish the phone calls?
been. This is the one that has the 4.
Yes.
So you're offering 579,
Through 570.
579.1, .2, .3, and .4.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Same announcement on your end on all 4,
Yes, Your Honor.
and then same ruling from the court. Overruled and declared.
Now, before we begin, do you recall the phone calls that we prepared for our presentation today?
Yes.
And they were to who?
To Amy Burgos.
Eight, 5.
Thankfully, they blanked out the number.
One, 2, 6. Dialed number.
Sound is not very good.
Please say again. United States of America.
United States of America.
Press 0 to make a prepaid for calls within the United States.
Do you recall the date of State's Exhibit 579.1?
April 18, 2018.
Hello, you have a free call. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey, just let it all out right now. What else you gotta tell me?
Hello?
What else did they tell you at work, or what else did they say they were joking with you? That's not to be joking with. What is he joking with?
About the kid. And then that's pretty much it. And I know a couple of people were asking Caitlin what's going on, like all that.
What? I can't hear you.
And then they were asking Caitlin about what happened with the police and all that stuff. People were asking her. And also, like I said, they just made a joke about having kids outside their marriage.
Okay.
So that's it. That's the only thing that happened today. That's why it wasn't that bad of a day. Because yesterday was worse.
Why? What did they tell you yesterday?
Yesterday they were telling me about the victims, Ronald.
What are all the victims?
They were telling me about them, about their family, about how they're hurting, about what you did.
Okay.
What they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying I'm not thinking. I'm just telling you what they're telling me.
No, it's fine, I understand. Just remember what I told you yesterday, you know? Everybody is doing all kinds of things and making all the reasons and whatever. You just gotta like, I know it's hard, but you just gotta like, don't listen to that.
Hard is an understatement. It's more than that for me. It's like my whole life is destroyed. Like all of my peace. And I was just, like, I wasn't even doing anything to anybody. So it's just like, all this feels like it's happening to me for no reason.
Yeah. Well, you already told you all my fault, right? That you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but I'm paid for it too.
I'm sorry, Amy, alright? I'm sorry.
And on top of that, I'm all in trouble here. Like, I have my mom, but she's been helping me with everything there. And I'm like, everybody else, like in the public, I'm by myself.
Alright.
With everybody looking at me.
I'm sorry, but please you understand that this is just people saying these things are not talking true. Like a big gossip, that's what it is. Somebody told us.
The police also said that you have another girl named Lindsay.
The what?
That you told them that you told them that you were dating somebody named Lindsay. As well.
Okay.
Behind my back. Okay, so yes?
No, Amy.
No, what am I saying?
We're not talking about that right now. This is switching all the
Oh
time.
my gosh. Oh, sorry. But I'll be to you, right?
Well, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. I guess we'll talk, I don't know, next couple days. Yes?
Why a couple days?
So you can, you know, chill out and... We're not going to talk about that right now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will explain everything to you. Because you gotta remember, it's like how the cops told me that you said stuff that I'm not gonna mention. And it's just so dumb to be talking about this on the fucking phone, you know, we shouldn't.
Okay, forget about it.
1 minute remaining.
Just asking me what's going on with me. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
That's fine. Hello?
Yeah.
You know, just for the sake of everything, I might not be just call you like a couple times a week.
Why?
Because we're getting into arguments and things, you know, at least that we shouldn't be saying.
Okay. If that's what you want to do.
That's not what I want to happen.
Okay.
Because I guess, you know, because I want to fight with you and argue about stuff.
I know, I miss you too.
Thank you for using IC Solutions.
Not the best quality audio, because we're hearing it from the court.
Let's approach, please.
And they're approaching. And they're approaching. So the audio is not great for us listening to it. Headphones help. So if you've got earphones or headphones like this, it does help. But my ears are not the best either. So I tried. I was trying to transcribe what I heard. Amy sounds like she can barely breathe when she does get hold of him. So she's really anxious and probably really angry too. I can't believe he said, I guess we'll talk in a couple of days. And then she's like, why? Why in a couple of days? Like, oh, you know, we could chill out, chill. That's what I heard, that we could just chill. Like, what? A couple of days? You think you're going to chill? And she said she's by herself and she sounded really worried. He said, I'm sorry, right? And also, she said, my whole life is destroyed. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry, you know. She also said, they were telling me about the victims. And he's like, you know, what do you mean? And she's like, about the victims. Like, they were telling me all about them and their families and everything. So, yes. Buttercup says, jail audio is terrible. Thanks, G. Transcribing. Transcribing as much as I can. If you guys can hear and understand too, and I have closed captions turned on CC on my stream, and I'm streaming this, so make sure that you turn on the CC. Just use the little cogwheel and turn it on. Make sure your settings are CC on, because it is activated for the stream and on my channel. It might help, but I also think CC is going to struggle with that. Tiffany says, I couldn't imagine being told my husband, number 1, had an affair, and 2, fathered a child with another woman, and most importantly, he's a murderer. Oh, Future said, he said, so she could chill out. He's probably annoyed that she's upset by all of this. This guy, wow. Yeah, and Angela says he doesn't even sound like there's anything unusual going on. Right? Sure. So that was from April 18th, 2018. As we know, the murders happened on April 9th of 2018. And he had his mental health evaluation on April 10th. And so this would be a week later, on April 18th of 2018 is when this call happened. NEP says, he said they should talk less often because we've been arguing and stuff. That I kind of heard. I was busy typing that, then I'm like, I'm not sure. So thank you so much, NEP. He said they should talk less often because we've been arguing and stuff. This is stupid to talk about on the phone. Wow, damn. Dirt in my eye says CC is not picking up much. Yeah, CC is like, I don't know, man. Wow. Suzanne Hale says he is a walking red flag. He really is, right? Purple Haze says Eduardo got up. He did. That's nice. Diamond Ring Girl says, thank you, G. I got the CC to work that wheel and turn it on. Yes, exactly. You know, it's like if you're upset, right? And then your spouse is, just relax, just relax. Isn't that the most infuriating thing? You know, and so Zed Kia's mama says, oh, let a murderer husband tell me to chill. Oh, hell to the no. I mean, in this situation, it's so much worse that he's like, just chill, just chill. Wow. Amy P says, I feel sorry for Amy and the boys. They're his victims too, honestly. And yeah, with this trial, stop, start, stop, start. So we've heard one call now. We've got 2 more to hear between him and his wife. I think the other 2 are more recent. I actually think one of them could be from July 4th of this year. So there's that. And we have, so 2 more from the wife, 1 from Z, which I cannot believe that they're just putting a whole name out there like that. Like, do they understand 2023 and the internet? I know it's a court proceeding, but they're going to need to blank that out as much as possible. So, 1 with Z, and then I think 1 with his mother. I'd scribble down some of the stats of when they said from the Webb County Sheriff's Office, Dana Sarkis is on the stand. And she said his grandmother, did I hear that right? 2,099 calls to his grandmother in the 5 years he's been in jail? 2,099. With 254 calls on the new system. To Carlos, his father, so he did lie that he doesn't, wasn't really raised. Well, I don't know. He's making like he was raised without a father, but they said he talked to Carlos 50 times. GSD Mom says, on a lighter note, that lavender color looks wonderful in you, Grizzly to Crime. Thank you so much. I wear purple to show the family support, or lavender, because sometimes they wear purple in court, all of them, the family to, be connected. So I also want to wear purple. That's why I've got purple hearts. We've got the white ribbon. We've got the baby Yoda. So thank you so much. Last week someone was ugly to me and said, why do you wear the same thing every day? to support the family? Anyway, Carlos, right? So 50 calls and not on the new system. So maybe he hasn't spoken to his dad in the last 6 months because this new system was introduced in December of 2022. And then they also said Z, 58 calls with Z, and on the new system 235, and this is supposedly a girlfriend? Why? And then with Amy Burgos, 51 calls to Amy. Sure. That's hectic. What is the judge saying now? So, okay, wait, that message flew by. Just remember, members, that slow mode doesn't apply to members. It's one of the YouTube perks. I make my membership extremely affordable. So I do have a lot of members, which now has made a good problem, but it is a problem in that the chat flies by because slow mode does not apply to members. So if you could consider typing just slightly less frequently, it really helps a lot. So that I can catch messages. Otherwise, I'm like... So Melissa said, right, Grizzly True Crime. According to the internet, I just want to make sure... Okay, so I just wanted to make sure before I put it up here. The woman they're talking about lost a 12-year-old child in February of 2018. I assume they mean Z. They said her name. She's 34 years old, lives in Laredo. I can't believe it, like, that they would just say her name. Erica Salgado says 2,000 plus calls asking for dollars, I bet. Probably, yes. Island Girl 21 says such manipulation. She needs to chill out, so he's just not going to talk to her much, flipping it on her. They always do that, don't they? They flip the script. You know, the deviant aggressors, the narcissists, the coercive controllers, the abusers, the killers, those ones is what I mean, they. Okay. Kim says, so he called his girlfriend as much as he called his wife. Well, what I wrote down was 50 calls to Amy. But the girlfriend was 58 plus 235 on the new system. So 235 since December 2022. That's a lot of calls. Haiti B says Z should appear to testify since she still supported him after the horrific crime he committed. Yeah. That will be interesting. But there are many Z's. Yes, exactly. Annie P, thank you. You say that is not verified. Several Z's have been identified. Okay. And we hurry up and wait again. Yeah, objection cake, that's a thing. He actually had her apologizing to him. That's what they do. They flip the script. Yeah, Caroline's like, look what you made me do. This type of attitude, right? Yes, Van says, all Grizzlies count. Let's make room in chat for everyone. So yes, if you guys just type a little less frequently, so instead of every single thought, maybe every second or third thought that you want to type, it helps a lot. It helps others get a word in. Everyone who's here. Beck says, I thought 58 was one girl and 235 another. What I wrote down was exactly what they said here, which was Burgos' grandmother, 2,099 calls and 254 on the new system. Carlos, the father, 50 on the old system, 0 on the new system. So meaning he hasn't spoken to his dad yet in the last 6 months. Z, 58 calls on the old system, 235 on the new system, and Amy Burgos, 51 calls. That's all they said. Tracy Hernandez says, FML, all these stupid sidebars after every single question, after every single message, after every single witness. The majority of the court time is on sidebars. Yeah. Right? It's very annoying. Okay, let me try to get this chat going again. Every now and then it likes to freeze up. If you experience it too, just refresh your page. Aaron says, careful, G knows. Let's try to get this message out. Careful, G knows the stats on who types the most in chats. She can access that. I actually can. Yes, you're right, Aaron. Let's see. Should I access that? Aaron. Okay, wow. We are waiting. The judge is definitely like, oh my word, he's definitely getting annoyed. You could see. Can we hear the second call? Aaron, you are still the top chatter. Did you know that? That's what it says.
Call number.
Another call? Okay, let's hear it.
It'd be helpful.
I'm sorry?
If you want to call out the timestamp of when you're forwarding it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Using IC solution.
This time, Your Honor, is 151.
Thank you.
The tax guy setting. Using IC
Your Honor, at 138.
Thank you.
solution. You may begin speaking now. Hello. I just said I went to go get the stuff from the daycare because the tax guy said I needed to have a PDF picture of it.
Okay.
So I went, and then Sasha, you know, Leslie, she wants to talk to me about everything, and told me in a really bad mood. She wasn't trying to be mean or anything, she was just talking about it, and she was saying that her husband is having a really hard time. You know, it's just, everything was making me so sad, and I just feel mad at you.
What you said, her husband what?
She was saying that everyone's taking it hard, like the news about you.
Oh,
And it's making me feel upset because I had to talk about stuff. Like, she was asking me about things, and I was just like, you know, didn't tell her a lot. I just was telling her, like, you know, that I can't bring Amy in, that I'm trying to figure out my mental situation, and then maybe he can go back if things get better, but I don't know. And then it just made me upset because I'm just feeling mad at you, Ronald. I'm mad at you.
okay. You know, it's something that I can't talk to you. Well, that we
Yeah,
can't.
I got. Yeah, because you know the bad things I'm thinking about. You know what I'm thinking about, and I can't even talk to you. And it's making me mad because I'm going through this alone myself. And all I feel like is in the end, like I never even knew you. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, like always. And then it also sucks that you probably believe everything you hear. Just like everybody else.
It just frustrates me because when I was in the room and they were doing the court hearing, I could hear them reading out messages of eggplant emojis that you were saying it was in March of 2018. Like, you just made me so mad at you. You betrayed me. You betrayed me. Too bad you betrayed me. And I'm sorry, and you betrayed me. I'm not having a good day, that's all.
You know, when I told you, like I told you, don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, it was just read in the court of law.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I wish I could, you know, just tell you everything like I know it is, but can't tell you. No?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Talk to me.
I got the information for the board. 1 minute.
For what?
I got the information for the Florida daycare.
Florida?
So we don't owe taxes anymore.
What do you mean information for what Florida daycare?
I paid daycare in Florida for half a year,
This year?
2017.
Ah, that's right, we're doing, that's right, I keep forgetting, yes. Okay.
Because I didn't come back until May.
Yes, you're right. I forget that the taxes is the last year taxes, like we gave last year.
Yeah, so I spent more than $5,000 just on Damien alone, just for my from 1 year for daycare. That's not even counting the extra babysitters I had to pay.
Why are you saying that like it's a bad thing?
They're saying that's a lot. That's why I can't do it right now.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. Well, that's that's expected.
Thank you for using IC Solutions. Goodbye.
Five 79.3.
579.3 will be published.
Yes,
There you go.
Call number.
Okay, let's try again. We can always go over it in the replay individually, guys, but listen as much as you can.
Recorded.
Timestamp 127, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Finally. Oh.
Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hello.
No.
Finally, what are you doing?
No.
Zero?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh man, why is sickness already? I wanted to ask him something.
It's not early. It's 9:42.
You know, I've been calling you since 8 o'clock. Since like 8, since 8 o'clock, right?
No, I saw a missed call at 9:13 and I was in the shower.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. My time here is 8 o'clock.
Okay, so it's my time 9 something. I went to the shower and I laid down the bed and fell asleep. People had to take allergy medicine to not put in sleep.
So it's like laying on spell then?
No. We both are supposed to go on a walk today. Because I have a race coming up on Sunday. How's it going?
I'm just here.
I'm
Just here.
nothing happened.
No, well, I'm just reading.
Do you have a lawyer with me with you?
Oh, why?
Just remember he said he was.
What?
Remember he said he was.
When?
When you asked me to ask him what his MC, remember he's like, oh, and he's working with like a college or like a clinic or something?
I don't know. Well, I was old Fallible, so.
I know, did he ever come visit?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Sorry, because I keep track of time, so I don't know if I'm like when we had a conversation. Anyway, is that Damien there?
No, he didn't sleep.
Oh, I really want to ask there was something.
What, Ronald?
Huh?
What?
What are you worried about? It's nothing bad, Amy, shit.
Not saying anything, no.
Can you wake him up real quick?
No, I'm not gonna wake him up.
Huh?
No, I'm not gonna wake him up.
Dang, that sucks. That's really messed up, man.
Why?
Because you know I don't get to talk to him all the time, and I don't get to see him, and I don't know, I think that's like messed up like this.
You call me every day and you don't talk to him all the time.
Yeah, I know, Amy, because I talk to you.
That's your own choice.
Huh?
That's your own choice.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Why are you mad?
You so like when you call me boss now, Ronald.
I'm not following you around, man. I was asking nicely, man. Damn, you know what? Never mind, man. You should have never said that, honestly.
Why?
Oh, that's messed up, man. That's really messed up. You know, that's really fucked up, man. you saying it like, oh, you're like, oh, it's your own choice, whatever, you know, yeah, I don't have, obviously I don't have the time to talk to everybody. You know, I've already talked to your ass because your ass doesn't know how to fucking manage money. So I had to talk to you last time, and then I asked you something, and then you know, like, just, you're fucked up, man. Anyway, so how was your day?
It's fine.
Huh?
It's fine.
Well, what's wrong with you? Just tell me right now what's the matter with you. Well, what do you have an attitude for?
I can't talk about it with you.
What?
I can't talk about it with you.
Why?
Because
What?
it's concerning you.
Okay. What?
In regards to our whole relationship.
And where did this come from?
Where did this come from? I'm thinking about God.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about God. I'm thinking about things that I've had to overcome in my life.
Uh-huh.
And that it was not me that overcame it. God will help me overcome things. Yeah, it just made no sense. It sucks now, but it sucks that this is our relationship forever now.
Well, what is
It gets frustrating because I'm the wrong person, right? And I'm married to you, and I can't even have like a marriage with you.
Amy, you know what? Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
I've never, ever. If you want to bounce, go ahead and bounce. If you're having like second thoughts and shit like that, you know, do your thing. I mean, you're up there, you can do whatever you want, you know? Who's gonna stop?
I'm not doing whatever I want.
Well, I mean, I don't mean it like that, what I'm saying, like, you're gonna go over here to give me the speech and whatever, man, like, go ahead, man.
Oh, that's so easy for you, right? You're saying.
I mean, I always told you, if you want to leave, you leave. You've done it before.
What are you talking about? I still talk to you.
I know you do, but I know you talk to me, but I just, you know, you're making it seem, I don't know.
I left. I left because of the bad things you were doing.
You know what? I told you many times, if you want to leave, nobody told me. You know, you don't have to, I don't have no
Actually, that's
so right now, if you're giving me this little speech or whatever, you know, you're feeling over here like, I don't know, like you're hostage or whatever. I'm letting you know right now. You're out.
I'm not saying I'm a hostage at all. Me, hold on, excuse me.
If you're complaining about this marriage or whatever, then go on, get married with somebody else. I can't give you whatever the heck is that you're looking for, you know? Nobody's making you stay. I told you plenty of times, if you want to leave me, just let me know. Don't be freaking playing nice over here. And, you know, just because, I don't know, for whatever reason. If you feel a certain way and you want to do something, just let me know. We'll take care of it. Don't be just playing nice just because I'm here. You know, don't feel bad for me or whatever. And don't feel bad for yourself either. Like, oh, this is what a marriage is. Well, it doesn't have to be like that. You just can't just get rid of it and get somebody else.
I know you think that, okay? But I'm not like that.
I'm not saying that you're like that. I'm just letting
So
you.
I'm trying to tell you, Ronald, don't think that for any second that me hanging on to you, it has anything to do with me feeling sorry for you. I don't. I don't feel sorry for you. I hold on to you because I still love you. Because I have that attachment. It's for me. It's not for you. I just want to make that clear. It's not a pity thing. I don't do it to make you happy. I do it because you are part of me.
Yeah, we're over there complaining and shit, so I'm just
Because it makes me sad that I cannot have that physical part with you. I get lonely too, Ronald.
It is what it is, Amy. You know, it is what it is. You know, there's plenty of people in the world that
It's
they go
not
through it.
insane. It's not insane.
No, nothing's fair anymore. Think about the people that they're like, one day, like, the guy wants to work and he got into a car accident and he died, and the chick stayed by herself, you know? It's not fair for her, right? Hello?
Yeah, you know what, Ronald? Honestly, I know you say, oh, like, oh, go, do you want to get married with somebody else, get married with someone else? Honestly, I have such a distrust for people, such a distaste for people, that I have no desire to do that.
Well, I think like it's your problem. You know what, man? I don't know what the heck is wrong with you, honestly.
What was the weird thing to say?
Oh yeah, it is your problem, man. If you don't trust people, that's your problem. You don't distrust other people, that's your problem. You used to trust people before, so I don't know what the fuck you're over there like not trusting people now.
Well, maybe you should pray about that, Ronald. Maybe you should pray and ask for that answer.
I'm not gonna answer. That's your problem, not mine.
Thank you. That's so very sweet of you, just like always.
Oh yeah, you know what? Fuck that. I'm over here and I don't know what the fuck I did to you or what, but I just asked you. I want to talk to you when you come out with your fucking answer. You know, I'm really fucked up. Really messed up. Well, that's fine. No, man, I don't even want to go there, man. Yeah, there's something that I don't know what the heck is wrong with you, but I don't know. That's my choice, alright. Anyways, so anything else you want to say?
No.
Are you sure? Because when I ask you, you don't say shit, and then all of a sudden you just want to blow up nowhere. So just let it all out right now.
No, I don't.
What?
No.
So what? So you're gonna do it later?
No, I'm not going to. That's my problem.
No, that's not right.
No, I it is. This is all my feelings are my problem.
No, that's not what I
That's
said.
fine.
I said you little distrust of other people is your problem.
Okay, and I'll deal with my problems then. Just like I deal with all the other problems.
Huh? So yeah, tell me what's up?
Nothing that I said I'll deal with it.
Huh?
I told you I'll deal with my problem. Just like I deal with all my other problems.
Can you please not be like that? You know I don't have a lot of time to be like on the phone. You already know that and you want to act like that. Huh? Hello?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I don't have any other problems.
Man. Hello?
Yeah.
So you want to talk to me or no?
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Hey, you know what?
What?
You complained before that I was calling you late. I try to call you at a certain time that I've been calling you for a while. You don't answer the phone.
I told you I was taking a
I
shot.
don't give a shit now. Now listen. If you're giving me fucking attitude for no reason, you just want me to, you want me to stop calling you? Is that what it is? Because I mean, it's going from 30 minutes, 20 minutes, now to 10 minutes. Before it's supposed to be, don't call me at this time, call me at this time, now I'm calling you at this time, now you can't answer the phone this time. So what's the deal?
I'm not crazy enough to call me on.
I'm telling you right now, if you got some issue, just let me know. Do you have anything you want to tell me?
No, I don't want you to not call me. And you don't have to do it for 10 minutes anymore. I told you that.
No, but I'm going to, because I know how responsible you are. But that's not, but, did you ever tell me something, Amy? What's bugging
How irresponsible I am?
What is bugging you?
Look who's talking, Ronald. Irresponsible I am?
What is freaking bugging you?
Nothing. Nothing, Ronald.
Alright, you had your chance. Alright,
Okay.
have a good night.
Have a good night.
Now, Ms. Sarkis, this was State's Exhibit 579.3. It was the third call with Amy. And the date is March 4th, 2020.
Correct.
The next one is with the mom. What is it with the mom? Yes. Now, we have State's Exhibit 579.4. And this is a phone call with the mother?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Do you recall getting a copy of the
Correct,
transcript?
yes.
This is 579.4. And Your Honor, this is the one that is transcribed or translated.
Are you gonna publish?
Yes, Your Honor.
The,
I'm going to publish that, and then this is solely for the court's records.
that's gonna be a non-jury exhibit.
And that one is 582.
Cindy?
I'm gonna put it
And-
at 582 non-jury.
Non-jury, thank you.
Ms. Sarkis, do you have the date for 579.4?
Then when it passes it out.
For the phone call?
Yes, the one with the mother.
I don't have that one. I don't have the date on that one.
Do we have that?
Give me 1 second.
July what? It was, do you recall it being July 5th, 2020? 2023?
I recall this, yes.
Do you recall going over the
Yes,
USB?
I do.
Because there's been change.
Hang in there, everyone. Don't fight with each
Ladies
other.
and gentlemen, what you are receiving is a translation of Spanish conversation that is going to be taking place in State Exhibit 579.4. Once it's published, please try and follow along, or you can just listen. Either way.
We don't have those transcripts, guys.
However, then we're going to pick those up after the exhibit has been published.
If I can just have a moment.
If anyone can speak Spanish in chat, please can you,
On
if
top
you
of the
hear,
transcription, it's got a call
type what you hear.
identifier.
It
Would
could
you
help.
be able to find that in your call logs?
You're going to publish it, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have it on here, but I know it's on the USB that we reviewed.
Gracias.
Phone call with his mom.
Gracias. Esta es una llamada prepagada de parte de... Su llamada ha sido aceptada.
Hello.
Hello.
¿Y por qué no me dijiste que ibas a venir para acá?
Tenía que pedirte permiso.
No es eso, pero es que tú sabes que eso de estar cayendo de sorpresa en estos momentos, eso no es de personas inteligentes estar haciendo eso.
¿Por qué?
Porque tú sabes que oye, esa gente está pendiente a todo lo que uno hace, las caras de uno, las reacciones, ¿verdad? Y
Yo estoy de lo más feliz y tranquilita allí con Guillermina, con tu
a mí
padre
no
y
me
con los
importa
otros.
tú, a mí lo que me importa soy yo, ¿me entiendes? Piensa, por favor, usa tu cabeza por un momento. Nada te hubiera costado decirme, mira, voy para allá para que me vean, no te sorprenda, esto y lo otro, voy a estar ahí ya. Pero tú caes ahí sin decirle a nadie nada. Y después estás ahí riéndote con uno, ¿verdad? A ti nadie te conoce, tú no tienes como 3, 4, 5 cámaras ahí en la cara tuya. ¿Sabes lo que te digo?
Now where'd the court audio go? They turned it off. Why? They turned the sound off. Great. Why? Court sound? Cameraman? It's all very hectic, huh? We need Spanish translators and we need to hear the call. Thank you, Marie. Come on. Why? Not that we can understand it, but why? Wow. Yeah, Smile Love says he goes off saying you ain't important. You don't have 3, 4, 5 cameras pointing at you, do you? Now it's back.
You can have the transcript just to the front and we'll put them on the rail and we'll pick them up. Thank you.
Why did they have to make that silent? Thank you, Willow.
Now,
You may proceed.
Ms. Sarkis, do you also, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 580 and 581 and ask you if you recognize these.
Yes.
Thank you
Exhibit
to
580 and 581.
everyone for telling us
objection?
what it means.
Judge maintaining our,
Thank you,
hearsay,
Paula.
our previous objections.
I'm not sure if your previous objections, when the jury was out, included, do you want to just lay the entire predicate on it, please? I think she only said she recognized it, and that was all the questions you asked. Since there is an objection, otherwise I would.
Now, how is it that you're able to identify that these emails are from Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles?
Because it says on the email, the from, which states the inmate's name along with the inmate's ID, and then to the sender, and that's about it.
And is there again, how is it that an inmate is given access to a device that allows you to give this email?
The identification number.
And are those monitored?
Yes.
And this reference number that is listed on each email or message, is that preserved in the documentation for your Webb County Jail records?
Yes.
Did you verify that those reference numbers are belonging to the business record for Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles' personal identification?
Yes.
And so where it says to an individual, it is someone that is registered name.
Correct.
May I publish that?
All right, just being offered, and do you have the objection that you had to the documents at the very beginning, or when we had the break outside the president's jury? Is that correct, Mr. Barr?
Yes, sir.
Can we see the
They are,
emails?
same ruling that I gave you then, overruled. Your objections are, and arguments are incorporated into your objection now, and they'll be admitted.
And Your Honor, is the translator on standby? Because there are some, this one.
Did you all send it to her? Like you did last one? No? You didn't coordinate that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, let's take a break. A quick break. Let's get those documents over
Just a
to
quick break, you
translators
guys.
so that
See you in an hour.
we can.
Submit out?
Yeah. They're gonna email those to you right now. Thank you.
What break are we
So we
taking
can
for
get that out,
what?
and then we'll bring you right back. It'll be less than 10 minutes, please.
No, it won't.
We do need to
I'm
get to
starting the timer. I don't believe it. This is for me, for my own records. I shall be starting the timer right now. Less than 10 minutes. Challenge accepted. Judge, let's see. Because less than 10 normally means about 30. So, thank you to all the Spanish interpreters, translators in the chat. Really appreciate it. If you could, when you re-listen to it on the replay, because I'm for sure going to be re-listening to the other calls, even though the audio is terrible from the court. We'd actually need the raw files, and still that would probably need to be cleaned up. If you can please type in the comments section what you heard. You can already do it now in live chat. You have been doing it, and I appreciate it so much. But it would really help if after the live stream, if you could type what you interpreted. That would help. Thank you so much. Rosalinda Estrada says he has no respect for anyone. He thinks that he's the most important person in his world. I can believe it. I can't say I can't believe it. But the way that he talks to his wife, Amy, wow. Of course, yes. We don't victim blame here. She's definitely the victim of what we've seen, domestic aggressor, domestic abuser, someone who doesn't pay daycare. Not even for, okay, Dominic was his own child, but you know what I mean? Not the kids he had with his wife. No, she said she paid up to $5,000 in daycare, and she's kind of saying it's a lot, and he's like, oh, no, it's a lot, but he clearly is allergic to daycare. Like this guy, what is his problem? You're a dad, bro. Maria Govarubias, thank you so much for your super sticker. You like popcorn. So it sounded like to me it sounds exactly like what we've heard in many coercive control relationships, many codependent relationships. I wonder how she's doing now. And the way he talks to her, the way he flipped the script of like, okay, you've had your chance. Like, listen, you know I don't have much time to talk, right? This is what he was saying. You know I don't have much time to talk here. So do you want to say something or not? And Amy's just like, no, I don't want to say anything. He's like, oh, okay, you've had your chance. And he's like, You can go out there and marry anyone else. And then he even says, if there's, he makes an example of, if there's a couple and the guy dies and the chick is all alone, I mean, that's not fair. And we know he calls a woman chick, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Right on Josephine says, Puerto Rican, not the same as Mexican or Spanish. We know. Oh, okay. Okay, so if it's Puerto Rican, if you could interpret that. Is that what he was speaking? Was it slightly different? Man. Yeah, Amy Michelle says, you don't matter. I do. That was terrible. That was terrible to hear, right? Crystal Ann says, he's so disrespectful towards women makes me mad. I mean, the way that he was also like, what is your problem? You've got an attitude problem. And she says, he says, you know, you could just move on. You could just be with someone else. And she's like, I don't have a desire to. I have such a distrust in people. And then he's like, well, that's your problem. Like this guy. He's like, that's your problem, okay? If you got no trust in people, that's your problem. Like, bro, you are in jail. 2 counts of capital murder. A mother and a baby. And he's like, well, if you can't trust people, that's your problem. Wow. Okay, Annie P says, a Puerto Rican Spanish is quite difficult. They don't enunciate at the end of the words. Okay. Lori says he gaslights Amy. Mm-hmm. CM says, oh, he's got jokes. Right? So how long? They've been on a break for 4 minutes. So I could go back and we could re-listen to some of it, but then we have to go forward again, okay? Let's see if we go... Wait. I'm gonna go back at the stream a bit. Okay. I went back in the stream a bit. And I'll monitor the time, mostly. So let's listen to this call one more time, okay? This is an English one. Let's see what we hear. Let's see what we hear. Let's listen. Quickly, go forward.
And that's when I went to go get the stuff from the daycare because the tax guy said I needed to have a PDF picture of it.
Okay.
So I went, and then Tessa, you know, she wanted to talk to me about everything, and so leave me in a really bad mood. She wasn't trying to be mean or anything, she was just talking about it, and she was saying that her husband is having a really hard time. You know, it's just, everything was making me so sad, and I just feel mad at you.
What are you doing? Her husband what?
She was saying that everyone's taking it hard, like the news about you.
Oh.
And it's making me feel upset because I had to talk about stuff. Like, she was asking me about things, and I was just like, you know, didn't tell her a lot. I just was telling her, like, you know, that I can't bring Damien, in. I'm trying to figure out my mental situation, and then maybe he can go back if things get better, but I don't know. And then it just made me upset because I'm just feeling mad at you, Ronald. I'm mad at you.
Okay. You know, it's so that I can't talk to you. Whatever.
Yeah, because you know the bad things I'm thinking about. You know what I'm thinking about, and I can't even talk to you. And it's making me mad because I'm going through this all myself.
I'm gonna pause that there for a second. What all did we hear? What did we learn? While I'm monitoring the court on my phone here, so we don't miss. I'll skip straight forward when we can. But she said, you know, she's going through all of this alone. She can't even talk to him. And you could just hear that he has no concern for her whatsoever. Not once in any of these calls has he asked about how are the boys doing. He has no regard for his kids. Clearly has no regard for kids at all. What an abusive guy, right? And she might, a lot of people are victim blaming her, I could see. She might be fearful that what if he does get out? Or what if, you know, it's if you are in a DV relationship or a curse of control relationship, or an abusive relationship. I mean, it could be really scary. Not only to wrap your mind around this, like, wait, what? So he like cheated and he murdered someone and what? But to just try to make sense of it. And then there's probably still the fear factor. And he's still aggressive from inside the jail with her. Can't believe it, right? So Maureen says, watch how a man treats his mother before you commit to him. Very important. Yes. Okay.
And all I feel like is then like I never even knew you. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, like always. And then it also sucks that you probably believe everything you hear. Just like everybody else.
That one was hard to hear, but it sounds like you probably just, couldn't hear what that was, but just like everybody else. So just based on the little bit that I could hear, he says there, it's kind of like, you're probably just making assumptions just like everybody else, or you're probably going to just leave me like everybody else, or whatever, you know. Ugh, flipping the script, trying to be the poor me syndrome, right? That's what we see here.
It just frustrates me because when I was in the room and they were doing the court hearing, I could hear them reading out messages of eggplant emojis that you were saying in March of 2018. Like, you just made me so mad at you. You betrayed me. You betrayed me.
There she's crying, saying, you betrayed me, and talking about him sending eggplant emojis. Well, we know he does that. We know he sends a lot of eggplant emojis. Yo, C, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's continue on.
Dude, and you betrayed me. That's something, and you betrayed me. I don't know how you did it, that's all.
You know, like I told you, I told you, don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah, it was just read in the court of law.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I try to, you know, just tell you everything like I know it is, but can't tell you. No?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Talk to him.
I'm also putting up the trigger warning because this can be very triggering for many of us in this community. So if you feel triggered, I'm very, very sorry. I hope you'll be okay. Just know you're safe here. We understand. There's lots of people that understand in this community.
I got the information for the Florida. 1 minute.
For the what?
I got the information for the Florida daycare.
Florida?
So we don't owe taxes anymore.
What do you mean information for what Florida daycare?
I paid daycare in Florida for half a year.
This year?
She says, I paid daycare in Florida for half a year. And he's like, this year? And she's like, we'll carry on. But like this year, she's talking about, I paid daycare. You didn't pay daycare. Oh, wow. The irony of that.
2017.
Ah, that's why we're doing that. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Yes. Okay.
Because I didn't come back until May.
Yes, you're right. I forget that the taxes is the last year taxes, like we gave last year.
Yeah, so I spent more than $5,000 just on Damien alone, just for my son 1 year for daycare. That's not even counting the extra babysitters I had to pay.
Why are you saying that like it's a bad thing?
I'm saying that's a lot. That's why I can't do it right now.
I know it's a lot. Well, that's you know, that's expected.
Thank you for using IC Solutions. Goodbye.
579.3?
579.3 will be published.
Yes, Your
There you
Honor.
go.
Solution. Global Health Technology Medicine, Laredo State.
So you said name myself then?
Okay, so this is the one where, I don't know, I'll tell you when the court comes back. I'll just go fast forward. They're not back yet. We're still timing as well. So, oh, okay. Spicy Chica says she said they didn't owe taxes anymore because she paid $5,000 in taxes that year. But she also talked about daycare, no? Okay. So this is the one where it's like, you got an attitude and like, I can't speak so long on the phone. And this is the one where her sound is really muffled. But let's try our best to listen again.
No. We are supposed to be on a walk today. Because I have a race coming up in 10 days.
I'm just here. I'm just here.
Nothing happened?
No, I'm just reading.
Today Laredo was motivated.
Oh, why?
Just remember he said he won.
What?
Remember he said he won.
When?
When he asked me to ask him his notes too, remember he's like, oh, and he's working with like a college or like a clinic or something.
I don't know. Well, I was so fallible, so.
I know, did you ever come visit?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Sorry, because I keep track of time, so I'm away from like when we had a conversation. Anyway, is that the Indian there?
No, he didn't sleep.
Oh, I really want to ask you or something.
What, Ronald?
Huh?
I won't.
What are you worried about? It's not something bad, Amy, shit.
I'm not saying anything about.
All I can hear there is, what? Oh, it's not something bad? I don't know what exactly he's referring to here, but like, bro, you're in murder. In jail for murder. 2. Oh, man. My word. Okay, continuing on.
Can you wake him up real quick?
No, I'm not gonna make him up.
Huh?
No, I'm not gonna make him up.
Dang, that sucks. That's really messed up, man.
Why?
Because I don't get to talk to him all the time, and I don't get to see him, and I don't know, I think that's like messed up like this.
You call me every day and you don't talk.
Let's pause it here for a second. He's smirking. He's literally like smiling. Why? What kind of face is this? Spleesha, thank you so much.
All the time.
Yeah, I know, Amy, because I talk to you.
That's your own choice.
Huh?
That's your own choice.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Why are you mad?
You so like when you call me boss now, Donald.
I'm not bothering you around, man. I was asking nicely, man. Damn, you know what? Never mind, man. You should have never said that, honestly. That's
Why?
Oh, that's messed up, man. That's really messed up. You know, that's really fucked up, man. You're saying it like, oh, yeah, oh, it's your own choice, whatever. You know, yeah, I don't have, obviously, I don't have the time to talk to everybody. You know, I've already talked to your ass because your ass doesn't know how to fucking manage money. So I had to talk to you last time, and then I asked you something, and then you go, like, just, you're fucked up, man. Anyway, so how was your day?
Then he actually says, anyways, so how was your day?
Huh? Well, what's wrong with you? This is somewhere around, what's the matter with you?
He says, anyways, how was your day? And she says, it was fine. And he says, huh? What's wrong with you? And now he's going to be like, why you got this attitude with me? Wow.
Well, what do you have an attitude for?
I can't talk about everything.
What?
I can't talk about everything.
Why?
Because,
Because what?
concerning you.
Okay. In regards to what?
In regards to a whole relationship.
And where did this come from?
Where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about God.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about God. I'm thinking about things that I've had to overcome in my life.
So there she said, I'm thinking about things, I'm thinking about God, I'm thinking about things that I've overcome in my life. Which could be a whole lot, especially to be with a guy like him, right? We don't know what she's been through in life. Well, he's toxic as hell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was not me that overcame it. God was helping me overcome things. You know, it just made no sense. It sucks wrong, because it sucks that this is our relationship forever now.
Well, what
It
is
gets frustrating because I'm the normal person, right, and I'm married to you, and I can't even have like a marriage with you.
Amy, you know what? Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
I've never, ever. If you want to bounce, go ahead and bounce. If you have anybody second thoughts and shit.
When he says, I've never, ever, I don't know what he's talking about, because he's cheated left and right, everywhere, all over the place. But he's like, you know what? Can I tell you something real quick? I've never, ever. If you want to bounce, then just bounce. Oh, wow. Because we need permission from the killer to move on with our lives, don't we? Coercive control match. That's what he's doing.
Like that, you know, do your thing. I mean, you're out there, you can do whatever you want, you know? Who's gonna stop?
I'm not doing whatever I want.
Well, I mean, I don't mean it like that, what I'm saying, like, you're gonna go over here to give me the speech and whatever, man, like, go ahead, man.
Oh, it's so easy.
Okay, someone said the judge is back, so I'm just going to go forward. I can't see that the judge is back. I don't see the judge back. I'll refresh this. Doesn't look like the judge is back to me. I'm monitoring it on my other device here. And now we've lost our place. Posh Latino, are you sure? Are you current on the stream now? Is the judge back now? Because I don't see the judge. But he should be. Honestly, it's been... Let's look at our timer. That was a lot. Let's look at how long it's been. 21 minutes. He said it'll be less than 10. I'm telling you, less than 10 means 30. Totally 30. This also, Priscilla says if you lower your volume, you can understand. If you lower your volume and put it at at 0.75 speed, it definitely helps. Definitely helps. We'll have to listen to it many times, I think. Not that we want to, but yep. I'm just looking at what you guys are saying. Because the judge is not back, so I don't know. Let's just see. I just want to see what your comments are here. Chris G says she'll leave him when she finds another man, and let's hope it's not another one like him. Let's hope the cycle doesn't repeat. Peanut says a little reassurance goes a long way. Claire Bay Lewis says, how's my Fury dude? I don't know. He's very quiet today. I think he's sleeping a lot today. He was really tired. This morning he was yawning his butt off. I put the picture there on Patreon. Okay, there's the judge. Alright, now where's the audio? He's got his coffee. I understand, back the blue, that conversation was definitely very triggering and uncomfortable. It was. Deep breaths, everyone. Remember why we're here. For Grizelda and Dominic Hernandez. The one phone call was from April 18th, 2018,
Thank
and
you.
the other
Please
one
have
was
a
from
seat.
March 4th,
Let's
2020.
continue with the examination of the witness by Ms. Chapman.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I publish State's Exhibit 580?
Oh,
Now, Ms. Sarkis, are you able to read
email time.
the words on State's Exhibit 580?
Yes, duérmete ya.
And we just have to wait.
Oh,
Yeah, just question and answer, please.
Oh. But will you please read this the title basically of this email?
duérmete ya.
Go to sleep now.
And then it is from?
Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles.
And this reference number is?
The reference of the message.
Okay, and what is it?
150-483-227.
Okay. And the inmate number for Mr. Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles is?
His inmate number is 3804.
And who is his email portraying to be?
To Sahara Cambron.
Okay. And it is, what day was it sent?
February 12, 2023 at 8:49 a.m.
And it shows status as?
Recipient read.
Okay. Will you go ahead and proceed in reading this? And if it's in Spanish, we'll just have to take a pause after.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, pues de volada, ¿qué pienso yo?
Hi, well, super quick. What do I think?
Te dije que no tocaras ese tema con mi mai.
I told you not to touch on that matter with my mind.
La conozco muy bien.
I know her very well.
No digas nada, ¿ok?
Don't say anything, okay?
Cuando Alma le dio chance, estuvo ahí meses.
When Alma gave her a chance, she was there for months.
Pa' sacarla tuvo cabrón.
It was hard as fuck to get her out.
I think that's why she doesn't invite her no more. Luego empezó a venir aquí todos los días y pues como la primera semana le dieron chance.
Then she started to come here every day, and for like the first week, they gave her a chance.
Ya cuando se dieron cuenta que lo agarró de carrito, le dijeron que solo era 2 veces por semana y no más.
When they found out that she used it as a little car, they told her that it was only 2 times per week, and that was it.
So my opinion is stay away from that, cause she doesn't have like that sense of I'm bothering people. People have their lives and I need to go. She just stays in there. As you can see, she can stay up all night talking and talking without realizing, oh shit, this girl needs to go to sleep or has a life. I'm not being mean, just realistic. Don't do it. I'm warning you. Plus, you got your dad to worry about. I'm fine here. I got phone, tablet, and I communicate with her. Seeing me is nothing essential. If she wants to see me, I heard they took all kinds of pics of me on the hearing. She can Google it. No, I can't send pics of me. And if I could, I wouldn't. She posts everything on Facebook, so I wouldn't trust her with a pic of me here. By the way, soñé right now that I was in her house.
I had a dream.
I saw like military jets flying over it. Then later on, I saw myself in like a cell, kind of looked like where I'm at. They brought the tablet and I was writing you and the mail came and they brought me an old letter from May 2021. You wrote me and drew me a SpongeBob. I was trying to read but woke up. Then was like 10 minutes ago. No, I don't think you look like her. Not at all. The face is way different. She's white like me. Not the no sun jail white me of now. The white of before. Her nose is different and her lips are thinner. Anyways, not at all. I can see if she meant it personality-wise. She is nice and friendly and cool and nice to talk to. When she's nice, when she's mad, she's a nightmare. What you mean by, no puedo ver lo que me cuentas?
I couldn't see what you told me to.
You don't believe what I said? 'Cause you can ask Nay. I'm not making shit up. This stuff she did everyone knows, including my mom. Nada más porque tiene carita de nena buena y viste decente no significa nada.
Just because she looks like a good girl and she dresses nice doesn't mean anything.
So don't let that fool you. What I told you is 100% truth. I don't need to talk bad about her for no reason. To be honest, it annoys me a little because back in the day, my mom used to defend her all the time and yell at me. I was like, se fue con otro, ¿qué quieres que haga? ¿Que la mame?
She left me for another man. What do you want me to do? To beg?
She didn't take care of me how a woman should, period. I know what's up. I don't need to be making stuff up. I told you straightforward. Yes, she is nice. I told you that I think she is the best mother ever. Yes, that's true. She is an amazing mom. If I was to be born again and God gives me a choice of picking a mom, I would pick her. She never drank, never partied, never left her kids with her mom to go out. She always goes to all school events and practice, and she breastfed both of my sons until they were like 4 years old. That's crazy. But as a woman, she fucking sucks. She left me alone many times. She left me many times. She chose someone else over me when that person never even got a card. I got her a house, SUV, clothes, food, and didn't have to work. I took care of her like many dudes can't. So fuck that. To me, she is a traitor. Period. Matter of fact, ayer, after I called my grandma,
Yesterday?
I called HB to talk to Gabriel. No money, whatever. So if I went in a rant, honestly it bothers me. Because many months ago when I told my mom about what's going on and that HB wanted a divorce, my mom, like always defending her, said, ay, entiéndela, no es fácil.
Hey, try to understand her. It's not easy.
Pobrecita, está sola.
Poor girl, she's alone.
¿Y yo? ¿Y yo no? ¿Y yo estoy aquí en la playa?
And not me. I'm here at the beach.
Ahora está solita.
Right now, she's by herself.
Pero cuando la tenía hecha le valió.
But when she had it made, she didn't care.
Now she has to suffer like all the other single moms. Anyways, look, it's cool that you are talking, pero como que ya estuvo.
But like, that's enough.
No es para que ella te cuente su versión ni opinión de las cosas.
It's not for her to tell you her version or opinion of things.
Because she's not going to tell you straight up. I tell you the facts. What she did and what she didn't do. Hopefully today you move on from being there chismeando con ella.
Gossiping with her.
Don't you have work tomorrow? You should rest. And hopefully you're smart and keep her over there in Puerto Rico. How is it that I warned you about this even before it happened? La conozco. Laters.
I know her.
And from your analysis, were you able to figure out who HB was?
Yes, HB is Amy Burgos.
I'm going to be publishing State's Exhibit 581. And what is it titled?
Double letter, sorry not sorry.
Okay. And the reference number?
144-124-711.
And it is from?
Ronald Anthony Burgos-Aviles.
To?
Sahara M. Cambron.
And when was it sent?
December 10th, 2022 at 2:50 p.m.
And the status?
Recipient read.
Okay. Will you please read State's Exhibit 581?
So do you remember when you said in your letter from November 21st, 2022, quote, no me importa tu ex de SA, la que le gusta panda y Whataburger.
I don't care about your ex from SA, the one that likes panda and Whataburger.
Pero gracias por compartir.
But thanks for sharing.
Okay, I'm sending you this box right here. See it? So in this box, I want you to place your boy David, okay? Then, you can put Danny there with his bitch ass. Don't worry, it's a big box. Gaitan too. Fuck it. He can go for a ride too. I also want you to put Joel in there in the box with his box of SKYNS. Seems like you got yourself in trouble for being messing around base. I wonder what your ex-hubby thought about this. After you're done packing Joel in the box, put in there your Arizona/Italian fan. You can throw the anaconda with all of them in the box too. Don't worry. Where they're going, it won't matter. Then you're a New Mexico fan too. Really? Had to be New Mexico? put Dami, Cubanitos, Trailero, Patience, Quatumer, Guard from Geo, and the other ones that I can't remember them when I was out, and I would see them in your Snap and TKOs and Cricket and whatever. Now, close the box and give it to me. I'm gonna close it and lock it with a chain and lock. I'm keeping the key, just in case you get any ideas. Then I'm gonna take the box to the airport and I'm gonna load the box in a cargo plane, like the military C-130. It should be familiar for the 15 and Guy. Then we're gonna fly west, towards the Pacific Ocean. Why the Pacific? Because it's deep. Once I get to the perfect spot, I'm going to open the back door and I'm going to kick the box out of the plane along all your little fan club. They're going to fall from the sky into the ocean, then they're going to sink into the deep Pacific Ocean. Then I won't have to hear about them again. En otras palabras,
In other words,
no me importa tu exes de New Mexico, Puerto Rico, Italia, Florida, Laredo, pero gracias por compartir.
I don't care about your exes from New Mexico, Puerto Rico, Italy, Florida, Laredo, but thanks for sharing.
And for the record, on States 578, these are, this shows the volume of messages to the same individual who received these emails?
Correct,
Or
the phone
registered?
calls.
And it says calls
58,
and communications?
235.
Does that include the email messages?
No.
Okay, where are the email messages?
The email messages, we had over 1,000 in total, and from Ms. Sahara was over 400 messages.
And this system became, was put in place in December of
2022, correct.
I pass the witness, Ron.
You'll reserve, oh, I'm sorry. So, as a result of some of scheduling, the state, if you're gonna, the defense is gonna hold off on the cross-examination of this witness. So you'll hear from potentially her again if they decide to put her on. But for now, the defense, state is gonna announce.
Your Honor, the state is gonna announce, well, we're not gonna object to their cross.
You're gonna just take them,
Well, we're,
because they can always call her on their case in chief, but you can call it a cross or reserving of a cross as well. I'm just kind of wondering whether or not you're going to rest now or you're going to hold off.
no, we're not gonna rest now, because she's subject to cross and then redirect.
Right, and if they call her, if they decide not, you can either call it cross or if they decide not to call her on their case in chief. And I know that they're doing it this way, where you know, I guess you can, this is what I want to know. Are you going to put any other witnesses after her in your case in chief?
No, she's our last witness, but we're accommodating them.
So we don't want to wait.
So let's just suppose that they were to not ask her questions now and just reserve for their case. They could call her on her case in chief, and then you all could cross her during their case in chief. But either way, what I don't want to do is have to come back and decide we haven't rested yet. I'm going to call another witness. You could potentially call another witness as a rebuttal witness, as you know. But right now, I guess you could decide. We could do it that way. You'll reserve your cross because you're accommodating them with a witness. That'll be fine as well. We can do it that way.
Yes, please.
Either way, it might be the same exact thing, but we'll do it that way. So, Ms. Sarkis, you can now, for now, get off the stand. You are not released from the subpoena. You will continue to be on call for a particular time and date. We'll let you know when that is.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. All right. So based on that accommodation, we're going to take a witness out of order, sort of, and call your witness.
Judge, at this time we call Mr. Rajiv Gupta.
Doctor. Who was that again?
Dr. Gupta.
Dr. Gupta, thank you. And Dr. Gupta, over here, sir. Come forward.
Dr. Gupta.
Good afternoon.
Date has not rested yet.
Your name, sir?
Rajiv Gupta.
Good afternoon. Please raise your right hand so that you can swear you in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Thank you, sir.
Like that?
Right over here. Please careful on the way up. Take a seat, get comfortable, pull up to the mic, and we will start.
Gupta?
There's an extra water bottle here if you'd like.
You guys sure?
Thank you.
So, thank you for your patience. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Rajiv Gupta.
Okay, and I'm going to start with Mr. Gupta. Are you currently employed?
I am
Okay. Where are you currently employed?
at Riverwood Medical Clinic.
Okay. And where is that? You said Riverwood or Ravenwood? I apologize.
Riverwood,
Okay, Riverwood.
like a river. Yeah, it's right outside Austin in Bastrop County.
Okay. And how long have you been employed at Riverwood Medical Clinic?
27 years.
Okay. And what is your job at Riverwood Medical Clinic?
I'm the internal medicine doctor there. So we just take care of all kinds of patients we take care of from head to toe, all kind of problems.
Okay. So you're a medical doctor, is that
Correct.
right, sir? Okay. So Dr. Gupta, could you describe your educational background?
So I did my training at UT Galveston from 93 to 96. Before that, I went to medical school in India, in New Delhi. It's called Maulana Azad Medical School. It's one of the top 5 schools in the country.
Okay. And I just want to make sure everyone understands, you did your residency here in Texas, is that correct?
At Galveston, UT Galveston.
It's still Texas.
Still Texas. Yes, sir.
Technically.
Yes, sir.
And am I to understand you've stayed in Texas since that time, is that correct?
That's correct.
And sir, do you hold any certifications?
I'm board certified in internal medicine.
Okay. And could you tell us what board certified means?
So after you finish your residency, you may or may not go through a certification process. It's a 8-hour exam that you have to take, and you have to do it every 10 years. So it's recommended, but it's not mandatory. So about 50% of the doctors do board certification in that area of expertise, and some don't.
So it's like if I'm understanding you correctly, it's like an extra qualification, is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
And you maintained that board certification over these decades?
Yeah. So you have to do it every 10 years. So I've done it, in 2016 was my third board certification.
And what does internal medicine mean?
Internal medicine is the area of medicine where you take care of all internal organs. It could be your brain, your heart, lungs, kidneys. So basically taking care of internal organs.
And do you study drug interactions as a part of that internal medicine?
Most definitely. I mean, that's a big part of our is diagnosis and treatment.
Okay. And have you reviewed any materials related to this case?
I have.
Okay. Judge, may I approach?
You may.
And I'm out of the white bucket, getting what's been previously admitted as Defendant's Exhibit 7.
No objection.
Pass the witness, sir.
Sure.
And so I've passed you what has been admitted into evidence as Defendant's Exhibit 7. Are those the medical records that you reviewed?
Yes, yes, they are.
Okay. And whose medical records are those?
Ronald Burgos.
Okay. And what was the doctor's name who was serving Mr. Burgos at that time?
I think it was Dr. Perez, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And were there prescriptions that were given to Mr. Burgos by Dr. Perez according to those records?
That's correct.
And what were those prescriptions?
So predominantly there were 3 prescriptions that he received from 2016 to 2018. one was phentermine, one was testosterone injections, and the third was Arimidex.
Okay, so I want to start with the testosterone. Now, that is a drug that most people have heard of. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Now, could you tell us why, for medical reasons, someone would be prescribed testosterone?
So medically, it's necessary when your testosterone levels are less. And usually you see that in people over 50, 60 years of age, they're having fatigue, lack of libido, and their testosterone levels are truly low. That's the only indication. But now you see these low T clinics coming up everywhere, and young men are getting it just to increase their muscular strength, increase their libido, and to me that's an abuse of testosterone.
Okay, so I think you, those are some of the non-medically necessary reasons why it's prescribed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And is there anything in your review of those records that indicated that for a medical reason that Mr. Burgos-Aviles needed testosterone?
There's only one testosterone level done in 2018, which was normal. So according to the records, I don't see any indication for that.
Okay. And could you tell us what some of the possible side effects of testosterone are?
So testosterone can have a wide range of side effects. It could be mental and physical side effects. So let me start with the mental side effects. Can I read through this?
If it would refresh your recollection.
Yes.
What do you want to put on the what are you reading through?
Oh,
sorry, this is, we're lawyers.
It's an article from a clinic called McLean Clinic that normally prescribes testosterone shots.
Okay.
So,
Is it all right? May I show it to the district attorney?
please.
Dr. Good was like, please. Boggs is like, we're lawyers. Man. Really? You're going with testosterone made him do it? He did not need testosterone. Dr. Gupta just said, young men that use this, abusing testosterone. Doesn't need more libido. Yeah, he looking embarrassed now. Thank you so much. Deja vu.
So it would refresh your recollection to...
That's right, because it's such a long list.
So when you've finished refreshing your recollection, let us know, and we're lawyers. Please don't read from the document.
Do not.
Yes, sir, if possible.
Okay, absolutely. So for most part, let me start with the mental side effects. There can be frustration, anger, rage, mood swings, depression, just to name the few.
Okay. Now, you'd said that in your review of the medical records, as I understood, that the result indicated that Mr. Burgos-Aviles had a normal level of testosterone. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, if you have normal levels of testosterone and then you take more testosterone, is it possible for those side effects to be amplified or increased?
Most definitely.
Okay. And could you tell me how testosterone is administered traditionally?
Typically it's a shot that you take every 2 weeks, but in this case I think he was getting it every week.
Okay. And if it's self-administered, would the doctor write a prescription for the needle as well?
That's correct. And syringes.
Now, you'd indicated, and I think you actually listed it first, and I took it out of order, phentermine. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Could you please tell us, everyone, what is phentermine?
So phentermine is a centrally acting stimulant that decreases your appetite. So it acts on your brain, tells your brain that you're not hungry, and it decreases, though we don't know the exact mechanism.
And so when you say centrally acting, what does that mean?
It acts on the brain.
Okay. Like the central nervous system in the
That's
brain?
correct. That's absolutely correct.
I've exhausted my knowledge. I shouldn't have given
No, you're absolutely right.
Anyway. Now, why would someone prescribe phentermine?
So phentermine is the most prescribed weight reduction medicine. It helps you reduce your weight by about 5 to 7% at the most. So some people, or a lot of people, take it maybe 3 months, 6 months at the most to lose that 5%. So basically it's used for weight reduction.
Okay. And is it obesity, or is it just you need to lose a few pounds?
So the medical indication is when your BMI is over 30, or if your BMI is 27 and you have some comorbid conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, you've had a stroke, heart attack, so then they recommend that you can lose it. But typically it's used for BMI of 30, which is body mass index.
Okay. Now, is there anything in your review of those medical records which indicated what Mr. Burgos-Aviles' his body mass index was?
I think it was close to 28.
Okay, so it was below 30.
That's
Is that
correct.
right? Okay. Now, phentermine, it requires a prescription. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And, is it at a different level of control than other prescriptions?
Oh, most definitely. It's a highly controlled medicine, and so is testosterone. Both are controlled medicines.
And so, what do you mean by that, controlled medicines?
So FDA has designated certain drugs that can have mostly effects on your brain, and they like the doctors and the FDA itself to control those medicines. So there are four category of controlled substances, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think this is category 4 controlled substance. So basically, it has a lot of side effects, and especially central nervous system side effects.
Well, could we talk about that now? What are some of the side effects or possible side effects of phentermine?
So again, they can be mental or physical. Let me start with mental side effects. Again, it can cause a lot of mood swings, anxiety, rage, and in the severest form, it can even cause psychosis.
In its most serious form?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I think you testified earlier that traditionally the longest someone is on phentermine is 3 to 6 months. Did I hear that correctly?
That's correct. Typically 3 months, but sometimes you can go up to 4 to 5. I mean, the max that I've seen is 6 months in my life, but typically it's 3 months.
Okay, so, and in your review of the medical records, how long was Mr. Burgos-Aviles prescribed phentermine?
About 2 years, little over 2 years.
Now, you indicated that in its most extreme form, it could cause psychosis. Could you tell us more about what psychosis means?
Psychosis is a very unrealistic behavior where you imagine things, there's delusional thought process, persecutory thought process, like people are coming to get you, people are, there are people in my room at night, or they see a little piece of string singing, or there's a snake out there. It's just totally dysfunctional and irrational behavior.
Okay. Now, did I understand you correctly? In its extreme form, you're, for instance, seeing things that aren't there. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, is it on a continuum, or is it a yes or no, you're psychotic? Do you understand what I mean by continue? If I'm using these words incorrectly, please. Is it a scale, or is it a yes or no question?
So, a lot of these side effects, they have a lot of mood swings. So the graph can go like this. So sometimes they could be manic, sometimes they could be depressed. So it's not on a continuous basis. I mean, they can vary day to day. Did I answer that correctly?
You tell me,
Okay,
doctor.
I think so.
Okay, well.
I think so.
So you said that it's sort of up and down day to day. And as I understand, and you're the doctor, does it affect the way the brain operates and your thought processes? Am I understanding that correctly?
Most definitely.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned a third drug, and that was Arimidex?
Arimidex.
Okay. And what is Arimidex?
So Arimidex is a drug used mostly in women with breast cancer because those are estrogen sensitive cancer. So it basically decreases the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. So it's indicated in women because you don't want so much estrogen. I have never seen it being used in a man. So just putting two and two together, I think it is to increase the testosterone levels.
Okay.
It seems like the sole purpose of this drug in this case.
Based on your review of the medical records?
That's correct.
So it's prescribed testosterone, phentermine, and then this third drug, Arimidex. And based on your review, it appears that it was designed to boost the testosterone levels?
That's correct.
Okay. And I believe, well, let me ask you this. At some point, do the records indicate testicular dysfunction as a possible reason for the prescription?
I saw that in the notes that the reason for Arimidex was testicular dysfunction, but I would not agree with that diagnosis.
Okay, well, why wouldn't you agree with that diagnosis?
But testicular dysfunction basically means inability to have children, and I'm told that Mr. Davila had children. So obviously he did not have testicular dysfunction.
And again, the only, I apologize, I have some allergies. I already asked you if you'd look at my tickle in my throat.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, now, the only test that you saw indicated that Mr. Burgos-Aviles' testosterone levels were normal. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, doctor, in your practice as a board-certified internist, have you ever prescribed testosterone?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why do you prescribe it?
Like I said earlier, when there's a medical necessity, when testosterone levels are low, so first thing we do is we get a testosterone levels. And if those are low and patients having other side effects, if side effects of low testosterone, then we prescribe testosterone.
Okay. And the combination of testosterone, phentermine, and Arimidex, have you ever prescribed
Never.
that combination together?
Never.
Okay. Have you seen other doctors prescribe that combination together?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Judge, if I could just have one moment. Thank you for your patience, doctor. I would pass the witness.
Thank you. Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Isidro Alanis. I'm the district attorney for Webb County. We've not met before, correct?
Yes, we have not.
And just for the record, you've been hired by Mr. Boggs and his team to come and testify in this case?
That's correct.
And you're being paid for your testimony?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you'd agree with me that you're not here to tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that Mr. Burgos had psychosis on April the 9th of 2018. Would you agree with me on that?
By no means. I cannot say that.
In fact, have you ever, up until today, and this crime occurred back in 2018, more than 5 years ago?
That's correct.
Okay, and you've never examined Mr. Burgos, have you?
I have not.
Okay, have you met Mr. Burgos?
I have not.
Okay, can you identify Mr. Burgos in the courtroom?
I think he's sitting next to
Okay.
Willie.
Pause.
Pardon me?
And in reviewing the records, Doctor, were you able to see where he had more than 11 visits with Dr. Perez?
Yeah, I think he was seen every 3 months.
Okay, and in those 3 months, did Dr. Perez on each visit conduct a interview or physical examination and then go through the screening process of the self-reporting? Did you see that in the records that are in front of you?
I didn't see any definite examination in there.
Okay, did you see the notes that are included in there? And if you can refresh your memory by looking at there, on the visits by Mr. Burgos.
Yep, I do see that.
Do you see on the top of each page where there's a long list of symptoms that they go over on each visit? Can you find that?
So it says chief complaint, testicular dysfunction, dietary counsel.
Okay, can I approach so I can expedite things here?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Please.
Now, this has already been admitted as Defendant's Exhibit 7.
He's definitely looking embarrassed now. Susan says, so Doc knows Boggs is Willie. He was like, Boggs, and he's like, excuse me? That was another moment I've got to make into a YouTube short. He's sitting right over there next to Willie. Even Burgos, he laughed for a moment there. Oh man.
I'm going to show you these, what it says here. Can you read that for the jury?
Progress note,
And this is the visit date,
April 5th, 2016.
and that's the doctor, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You see over here where his chief complaint, can you read?
Yeah, testicular dysfunction and dietary counsel.
Okay. And these are the medications that you just testified to?
That's correct.
And you said that this other Armadex just helps boost the testosterone, correct?
That's the only reason I can find
Okay, so
within
in
the
your
medical
opinion,
record.
it boosts testosterone. So in essence, it's a dose of testosterone and phentermine together.
Correct.
Over here under review systems, under Dr. Perez's notes, you see where it says, what does it say here?
Constitution denies fatigue, fever, chills, weight loss, eyes, changes in vision, denies changes in vision.
These are more patient notes here.
You want me to read?
1 second. Okay. Who does this chart belong to?
Ronald Burgos.
Okay, and what does it say here? He denies, right?
Denies.
If you could just, I don't know if those pages if they have a page number in the bottom or not.
This is page 30 of 105.
Thank you.
Thank you, I'm sorry about that. Defendant's exhibit. So under Ronald Burgos, it says denies, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and denies what?
Lumps, tenderness, nipple discharge,
Okay, and he also denies what?
chest pain, irregular heartbeat, dyspnea, and exertion.
In the respiratory section, what does he deny?
Shortness of breath, cough, hemoptysis.
And over here in gastrointestinal, he denies.
Diarrhea, dysphagia, abdominal pains, blood in stools.
In this other, how do you pronounce this?
Genitourinary.
Okay, he denies.
Urgency, frequency, dysuria, nocturia, hematuria.
In the integument, what is
Denies rash, new skin lesion, changes to existing skin lesions or moles.
Neurological,
Denies incoordination, memory difficulties.
and the musculoskeletal.
Denies joint pain.
In the endocrine,
Denies cold intolerance, weight loss.
in the psychiatric,
Denies depression, difficulty sleeping, compulsive behaviors.
in the heme lymph,
denies easy bleeding, easy bruising, lymph node enlargement, or tenderness.
On this same patient, there's the physical examination that takes place, correct?
That's correct.
And on the same patient, he continues with the physical examination,
That's correct.
Are these things you do also?
Pretty much.
So Dr. Bettis was doing what doctors do?
Pretty much, yeah. These are
called what?
These are templates for EMR, electronic medical records.
Okay. That's when you sit at your computer there when the patient's waiting and you update the...
Correct.
When you ask the questions to the patient, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, were you able to see that in this big stack of records here, and I'm not going to go through it, but are you familiar that he went through this drill 11 times in those 2 years?
That's correct.
And that did you review that every time he went, it was the same responses?
That's correct.
In other words, there was no reporting of any problems by the patient. Do you agree with that?
That's correct.
Including psychiatric problems, correct?
That's correct.
And I'll fast forward all the way Judge, I'm just moving a little bit quicker through the whole paperwork here for you. I'm going to now jump to a year later in 2017. The chart for Mr. Burgos, page 89 of 105. These are the patient notes, correct?
That's correct.
And again, I'm just going to have you read from the top to where my hand is for the jury.
Denies lumps. I think I just lost the top line.
Okay, sorry about that.
Denies lumps, tenderness, nipple discharge, cardiovascular, denies chest pain, irregular heartbeats, dyspnea on exertion, respiratory, denies shortness of breath, cough, hemoptysis, gastrointestinal, denies diarrhea, dysphagia, abdominal pain, blood in stools, genitourinary, denies frequency, urgency, frequency, dysuria, nocturia, hematuria, integument, denies rash, new skin lesion, changes to existing lesion, skin lesions or moles, neurological, denies an incoordination, memory difficulties, musculoskeletal, denies joint pain, endocrine, denies cold intolerance, weight gain, psychiatric, denies depression, sleeping difficulty, compulsive behavior, heme and lymph, denies easy bleeding, easy bruising, lymph nodes enlargement or tenderness, and allergic immunologic, denies sinus allergy symptoms.
So what is manic behavior? Manic.
Manic is if suddenly somebody comes in and just is too happy, is going on a shopping spree, just spending all the money on his credit card. I mean, just totally in a manic phase.
Compulsive.
It could be. It could be.
But he didn't report any of that, right?
He did not. But if I might just point that all those descriptions are same on every visit.
Correct.
And those are auto-populated.
Exactly, but they would be. You weren't in the examination room when this happened, right?
Absolutely
So
not.
you can't tell the jury what was going on in there, can you?
Absolutely not.
I'm just
But-
asking you to read what's in here.
Sure.
Okay. Because as a doctor, you're responsible for just like a lawyer, you're responsible for the work product that comes out of your office.
Most definitely.
Now, I want to look here at the date on this visit here. Can you tell us?
2/8 of 2018.
February of 2018?
That's correct.
Do you recall or understand that the murder in this case took place in April of 2018?
That's correct.
So this would be shortly before that?
2 months before that.
Here on the notes, is there anything here that is not normal?
Yeah, it's everything is denies.
Okay, everything is denied, including the psychiatric symptoms of depression, difficulty sleeping, or compulsive behaviors. Is that
Correct.
As well as in the physical examination, everything is normal.
That's correct.
Correct. And that was the last record in this stack, correct?
That's correct.
If I understood on your testimony, and if you would agree with this statement, that testosterone alone does not cause psychosis.
That's correct.
Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Okay. You have prescribed testosterone.
I have.
Okay. I want to talk about, would you agree with my statement that there are no case studies or cases where testosterone with phentermine cause psychosis?
You mean the combination?
The combination.
I haven't seen any studies to that effect.
Okay. So you haven't seen any studies, and you'd agree with me that there are no studies where phentermine and testosterone cause psychosis, correct?
Well, they're typically never prescribed together.
That's not my question. Do you have any case studies?
I do not.
Okay. Now, phentermine by itself, in some, using your words, in some extreme situations, could cause psychosis.
That's correct.
Okay, let's visit that. Let's visit that subject. Isn't it true, doctor, that in the cases, and if you've done the research, where phentermine causes psychosis is when patients themselves overdose on the amount of phentermine that is prescribed?
Not necessarily. It can happen at normal dose, and it can happen at overdose, obviously.
What is the normal dose?
The max is 37.5 milligrams.
Okay. And is that the max or the minimum?
The max.
Okay. Do you know what Mr. Burgos was being prescribed?
If I remember correctly, I think it was 37.5 milligrams.
So that's legal, correct?
That's legal.
Okay. And you say that you have not prescribed phentermine and testosterone together.
Yeah, because both are controlled substances, and that's usually in medical practice, that's not recommended.
But it's not to say that it's illegal, is it?
It's not illegal.
Okay. One of them is an appetite suppressant. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's phentermine.
That's correct.
And the other one is, like you said, for increased strength, libido, muscular structure, things like that.
Yeah, but that's not a medical indication for using that.
I'm
That's
not
what
saying
it's
that, I'm
commonly
just,
used.
yes, but you said that a lot of patients use it for those purposes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Isn't it true that in your studies, or have you got to study this, that psychosis when taking phentermine will manifest at onset of taking the medication? And when I say manifest, I'm saying within the first week, 2 weeks, month, right when you begin to take it is when it can happen.
Not necessarily. I've seen it happen later, and normally it's not recommended to be treated for more than 3 to 6 months, so you don't see much of that.
I understand, and that's not my question. I need you to answer specifically my questions. And you're free to ask. This is your opinion.
Sure.
I respect your opinion. All I'm wanting to ask you is that isn't it true that the symptoms of psychosis when taking phentermine begin typically at the onset of ingesting the medicine?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Now, we've established that you're not Mr. Burgos' physician, correct?
That's correct.
And you've never done any blood work on Mr. Burgos?
I have not.
Now, would it surprise you, doctor? And of course, I'm we're going back in time here, right? That if somebody suffering from psychosis, for example, and I don't know if Mr. Boggs called it something, a continuum, or the progression, or whatever it is. If you're suffering from psychosis, would it be your opinion that somebody at work, a supervisor, coworker, family member, friend, would detect something in your behavior?
Like I said earlier, normally these people, graph goes like this. So, one day they could have it, one day they could not. It's not a continuous, sustained effect. So, it's possible it may not be detected, but because it's not a continuous phenomena. They have not a mood swings, so to say.
So you're saying that the psychosis can manifest itself for about 15 minutes while you're committing a double homicide?
I'm not suggesting that, and I never mentioned that.
Because you weren't there that day, correct?
I wasn't.
Now, these medications, you say they're controlled substances, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You're familiar with the safeguards, right, that the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, that they have in place in the distribution of these medicines?
Yes, they do.
Right? So, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what safeguards are in place at the pharmacy if you want to go and double up on your meds?
Well, the doctor, when they're prescribing, they always go over the side effects, what things to watch, and then the pharmacy also gives them a handout. And if it's a controlled substance, then it gets automatically reported.
Correct.
The pharmacy board keeps a record of that.
But the point I'm trying to make to you is when I drive up to the pharmacy and I'm trying to get my controlled substance medicine, and if I'm 10 days early, are they going to give it to me?
No, they will not.
Why not?
Because it's too early, and
Correct.
it's monitored. It's very closely monitored.
Exactly, right? So that's how the safeguards are in place, that when I go 5 days before I get my meds and they tell me, I'm sorry, Mr. Alanis, it's too early, you got to wait.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay. And both of these substances in this case were controlled substances.
That's correct. 2 out of 3 were controlled.
So they would only be available through the pharmacy.
Oh, absolutely.
Correct? And if drug tested at work for amphetamines, he would have a medical reason at work to show his boss.
That's correct.
And I know that, I know you started to make some reference to the notes over here on these, and before I get into doctor's records and notes, I want to ask you, as part of this case, did you have the opportunity to review, study, analyze, or look at the interview of Ronald Anthony Burgos at the police station on April the 9th of 2018?
I have not.
You weren't able to observe his at all?
I have not seen that.
Have you ever testified on the direct results of testosterone and phentermine interaction?
I have not.
And I know you were making a comment on the records by Dr. Perez. Isn't it true, doctor, that in your practice, that in November of 2007, that the Texas Medical Board found some discrepancies in your billing practices?
They were, but
I'm just asking
yeah,
you the
that's
question.
correct.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And what's the next state's exhibit? May I approach?
May.
I'm going to show you what's the state's exhibit 583. You can look at that.
He's a nice doctor, good witness, but not so much for the defense, right? I think it's backfiring on them a little bit.
Are you familiar with this document?
I am.
Okay. I'm going to tender it to defense. To offer state's exhibit 583.
Objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
This is a defense witness. Yes. Funny. Thank you so much.
Now, this order regarding your license by the Texas Medical Board, is that correct?
That's correct.
There was 19 findings made by the medical board.
That's correct.
Now, although you kept your license, but you were required to fulfill certain requirements, correct?
That's correct.
And eventually you were able to fulfill the requirements.
That's correct.
And this, would it be fair to say that this action that was taken against you by the board, the Texas Medical Board, dealt with your record keeping?
Mostly it was billing,
We're billing, with your billing.
with my biller, yeah. She was making some mistakes.
Okay. But ultimately, you're responsible
That's
for
correct.
your employees, correct?
That's correct.
And as part of this, you were made to pay an administrative penalty of $1,000, do you recall?
I don't recall,
But you had to pay a penalty, yes?
I don't recall. That was in 2007, so I honestly don't remember what was.
Do you remember having to obtain 10 hours of continuing medical education?
That's correct.
You did, correct? Okay.
Dr. Gupta is so sweet and patient, right?
Now, let me ask you this. If one of your patients on medications that you gave him, if that patient on his own abuses those medicines and takes higher dosages than what you prescribe, okay? Would it be fair to say that you poisoned that patient?
Absolutely not. I didn't recommend to ask him or recommend to take a higher dose.
No further questions.
So, Dr. Gupta, if I could have State's Exhibit. the
Mr.
last one
Alanis,
just to-
Right.
the other one. Oh, State's Exhibit, that's defendants, right? I'm sorry, there it is.
So State's Exhibit 583, you're familiar with this, correct?
That's correct.
And that's where, there was a finding of facts by the medical board and you paid an administrative fine, is that correct?
I don't remember the administrative fine, honestly,
But you did 10 hours of,
of continued education.
okay. And I believe that, and the district attorney didn't show the finding of facts, although we referred to them, these all dealt with billing issues, is that correct?
That's correct.
They were administrative issues.
They were administrative issues.
Was there anything that you were censored for by the medical board related to your practice or your medical expertise?
Not at all.
Okay. Has the state of Texas Medical Board ever found fact against you for your medical expertise or your medical practice?
Never.
Well, we don't like to be overbilled, so don't, you know. Let's not give ourselves too much credit. Now, sir, you were asked on cross-examination about the prescriptions of testosterone and phentermine and arimidex. Let me ask you, how long do those stay in the body? Is it a permanent result that the damage, possible damage that they do?
No, it's fully reversible. Once the drug is discontinued, those side effects disappear.
Okay, and you were asked on cross-examination about possible effect of psychosis by phentermine. Now, and I believe you said very specifically that you're not saying in April of 2018 that Mr. Burgos-Aviles was suffering from psychosis. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It's just a possibility. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And you're the doctor, but as I understand, the way you explain psychosis is that this is a mind-altering drug, that the effect could be much less than, it just changes the way one thinks and processes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It's, irrational thought, I believe.
Irrational behavior, irrational thoughts.
Okay. And you were shown by the district attorney Dr. Perez's reports of self-reporting in his 11 visits, and Mr. Burgos-Aviles' 11 visits over those 2 years. And he indicated that things were normal, correct?
That's correct.
Now, that's based on self-reporting. Isn't that correct, usually, in a doctor's office?
It's self-reporting. Also, there's a part that says examination, so the doctor is supposed to examine too. So what patient complains, that's history, and then the physical part is what the doctor examines.
So I don't know how you do it at Riverwood, but a lot of times it's when you're waiting for the doctor and the nurse comes in and goes through this checklist and
I'm going
enters.
to object if you can ask a question, not talk about his
Right.
personal experiences.
Well, I'm going to overrule, just let's finish the question.
Do you know the answer to that? How that
What was
is?
the question?
How that? How are those check boxes and those reports usually entered?
So typically
Well,
when
I'm
they...
going to object to also the relevancy speculation, how he does it. He wasn't there when Dr. Pettis did.
Overrule. Go ahead.
So,
Answer the
can I
question.
answer? So typically, when a patient walks in, the nurse takes the blood pressure and all that stuff, and they say, okay, what are you in? Okay, I'm here for my refill of XYZ medicine. So in the electronic medical record, which it is, there are set templates. So there's a template for refill of these medications. So the nurse will load it. And then the doctor comes in and looks at the template and says, okay, agree, disagree. If he disagrees, he will change some things. Otherwise, he will not change anything, and everything will be as it is.
So in that self-reporting, if you're having irrational thoughts, the data that's given is only as good as the person giving the information. Is that a fair thing to say?
Especially in psychological condition. Now, if it's a physical condition, if somebody is having a rash, then you can see that. But in psychological condition, either it's self-reporting or it needs a highly trained doctor or a psychologist to determine those. Those are not easy to detect.
So you were asked by the district attorney on cross-examination whether you knew of any studies that indicated the combination of phentermine and testosterone caused psychosis. Is that correct? You
That's
remember
correct.
that? All right. Now, as I recall, you indicated that there are multiple studies that phentermine by itself can cause psychosis. Is that correct?
I'm going to
That's
object,
correct.
that's already been answered, covered, that phentermine by itself covered in cross-psychosis.
It was asked on.
I think
cross-
you asked that
He had
question.
also asked it indirect.
Overrule.
Now, is there any reason to believe that combining these two controlled substances would somehow negate the studies that indicate that phentermine is a mind-altering drug?
It does not negate that.
Now, you were asked by the district attorney that these symptoms manifest, and I believe that's the exact word that he used, they show up right away. Does everyone who uses phentermine get psychosis, for instance?
No, they don't.
Okay, why is that?
Well, one, it's in my practice or whatever I know, it has never been used for this long a duration. And usually we use it for 3 to 6 months, so it's too early to catch those kind of things. Even if the patient gets by the time the drug stops, patient is back to normal. So we have never seen anybody being treated for 2 years.
Okay, and we're all humans and we're all different, correct, sir?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and so the effect that a drug has, does it depend on the individual?
Oh, yes, everybody's chemistry is different. Everybody's going to react differently to the drug. So no two people will react in a similar fashion.
So the example that the district attorney gave you about studies that indicated that it manifests very quickly, that might just be those individuals. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Now, the district attorney asked you in cross-examination about, I believe he mentioned a possible drug test for amphetamines at your work. in your review of Mr. Burgos-Aviles' medical records, was there a report of a positive test for amphetamines?
There was.
So it appears that Mr. Burgos-Aviles was following the doctor's prescription. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And again, I think you indicated that Mr. Burgos-Aviles' prescription was the maximum level. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're not saying that's illegal. Is that right?
That's correct. It's not illegal.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. He's going round in circles. This has been covered already.
All right, let's move on.
Object, going around
I
in
pass the
circles.
witness back.
In your practice, do you administer phentermine? In your practice, how many years have you been licensed?
One question. at a
30
time.
years.
30 years. And
Or
have
27 years.
27 years, sir. In those 27 years, have you administered phentermine?
A lot of times.
And it's a dietary suppressant.
Suppressant.
Correct, right? Have any of your patients ever gotten psychosis?
I have not seen one.
No.
No.
And phentermine's one of the most utilized drugs in the United States since what, the 1960s?
1956 or something. like that.
1956, one of the #1 utilized prescribed drugs in the United States. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so is testosterone today, correct?
That's correct.
And have you had any of your patients on phentermine commit capital murder?
I have not, because I don't prescribe it for more than 3 months.
But you're not the doctor for Mr. Burgos, are you?
I'm not.
So you don't know all of the medical conditions of Mr. Burgos, do you?
Yeah. I was just responding to the fact
I
that you said,
understand,
have
but
I
that's
seen
not
those
my-
side effects?
That's not my question.
One second, guys, don't talk over each other.
My question is.
If you're going to object to it in response, object to it. I'm sorry,
Objection.
Mr. Alanis, definitely don't talk over me. So if you're going to object to a response from the witness, say, object to a response from the witness, and then we move it from there.
I'm just going to ask you, just wait.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. To wait till I ask the question, right? You're not Mr. Burgos' doctor, correct?
That's correct.
And you're not here to say he had psychosis on that day, correct?
I'm not saying that.
No further questions.
No further questions.
All right. Dr. Gupta, you are excused, sir. You must go back
Thank
to
you,
the register. Thank you. Have a safe trip.
That was very intense.
Okay.
Very
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to call it a day, and this one's going to be my fault because I have a doctor's appointment at 5:30, so I'm going to have to get to that. So we'll see you here in the morning. Of course, you are still under the same instructions I've given you since the very beginning. Please follow, and if you need to refresh your memories, please go to that document. Thank you so much.
Please rise to the jury.
Stay here, you guys. We're gonna quickly go over the translated call from earlier. Damn, that was. I think everybody's getting tired and getting really snarky. Oh my word! Between the district attorney's been like really on his last nerve all day, and that combination now with, wow, shame, poor sweet Dr. Gupta in the middle of all this, and them shouting at each other. Wow, that was hectic, you guys. Oh my word! I'm like, whoa. Okay. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go now. Shame. Okay, so let me quickly get something for you. Let me first say thank you to Liliana, Elizabeth. There's a few others. I can't see your names. Wait, Liliana, Elizabeth, and a few others for translating the calls. That one call that Burgos had with his mother for me. Okay. You guys are all like, everybody needs a nap. Everybody does need a nap. Oh my word. So let me just quickly get this image here for you. I downloaded it. Someone wrote it out for us even. Look at this. Oh, that's huge. Okay, sorry. This was the translated call. Let's just take this text off here. Hold on. We heard some calls today between Burgos and his wife. Sorry, I have to literally, it's so huge. Oh my word, I can't believe it. It's just so big. I have to resize this thing. Burgos doesn't have to say any such things based on what we heard today. Okay, so here we go. Finally, sorry about that. Sorry, the file was nice, high quality. So we heard some calls between Burgos and his wife today. We also heard a bit of a call. I don't know why the court muted half of this call, but we heard some in Puerto Rican between Burgos and his mother. Okay, so thank you so much to Liliana for translating this as well. Complicated welcome to Grizzly $1 supporter. So, Burgos, why didn't you tell me you were coming? Mom, did you ask for permission? Burgos. Wait, the stream there is ending. It's not that. You guys just falling in and surprising. At this moment, it's not people who are being intelligent to be doing that. Now I'm going to go to the other one that I've also got from... Sorry, my inbox is like... it's so full, it's so hard to see. I've made little stars next to the ones I want to open. Hold on. Liliana, yes. Yasmin, thank you so much. This is from Yasmin. And I just want to see Elizabeth's one as well. So Burgos, hello. Mother, hello. And why didn't you tell me you were coming here? Mother, and did I have to ask permission? Okay, so let's see. Did you ask for permission? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show this one and read that one. Okay, so we get the best of both translations. And did I have to ask your permission? Burgos, it's not that. That being taken by surprise right now is not an intelligent person to be doing that. Mom asks, why? Burgos, because you know that these people are attentive to everything that one does. One's faces, the reactions. Again, you see, he's worried about his image. Again. I'm just going to make this picture a little bit bigger here. This guy worries about his image a lot, huh? Are you following? You guys are still busy with the DA was acting really on edge. Okay, so then these people are attentive to everything that one does, one's faces, the reactions. And his mom says, I'm very happy. Calm down there with Guillermina. What's that? What's Guillermina? What is it? I'm very happy. Calm down with Guillermina. And Burgos says, this translation says, I don't care about you. I only care about me. Think, please, use your brain for just a moment. Nothing would have cost you to tell me I'm going. Don't be surprised. This and that. That's it. The other one that I'm reading says, Burgos, what matters to me is me. You understand me? Think, please. Use your head for a moment. Nothing would have cost you to tell me, look, I'm going there so you could see me. Don't be surprised, this and that. Yeah, but you fall there without telling anyone anything. And then you're there laughing with me. Nobody knows you. You have 3, 4, 5 cameras there in your face. And then the audio cuts off by the court. So thank you so much to Elizabeth and Yasmin for these translations. Thank you, Yasmin, for writing it out for us as well. Did you guys follow that? Should I do it one more time? I hope you did. Wait, which image is this one now? This one? Yeah. Okay. Ocean Soul says, can he ever ask a question without saying, is that correct? Katie says, appreciate these translations. Me too. Let's just quickly put my normal background on. There we go. Now we're back. There we go. Never forget what this is all about. Grizelda and Dominic, okay? Ooh, okay, let's see. Molly Cuddle says it's the mom's sister, I believe. Is it? Oh, is Guillermina his grandmother? Oh, okay. Guillermina. Am I saying it right? Or is it like Guillermina or is it Guillermina or what? I hope I'm saying it right. Sorry if I'm not. Grandmother. Okay. So, if we do it one more time. There's one more from Liliana that says, call with his mother. Why did you tell me you were going to come to court? You know these people are watching just for my reaction. You don't even care. The only one that matters here is me. Shut your mouth. This was not the time for you to come. give me any surprises. You could have told me you were planning to come. See? So that's 3 translations already, but we're getting the message. We're getting the message. Wow. Okay. Damn. What a guy, huh? So one more time. From Jean said, this translation was well done. Thank you so much, G. Well, thank you to all the people that emailed me these translations. I appreciate it so much. I hope you'll also put some of them in the comments section. It would really be helpful if people don't watch this part of the live stream right at the end, that they could just read your comments, okay? So one more time. The call with him and his mother. And when was that, actually? Just hold on. Just want to see. When was that call? Because the one with the wife, with Amy, was April 18th, 2018. March 4th, 2020. Those are the ones they played, right? And the one with the mom, I can't remember the date here. Okay. Let's just see. Lorna, is that correct? To any statement they make to turn it into a question, because they aren't allowed to make statements, only ask questions. True. Yes, Yvette, we've Googled her many times, and gone over all her credentials and where she lives now and everything. With pictures and all, right? Okay. Just stand by. Someone's saying, where'd you go? I'm still here, right? July 5th. It was, right? The one with the mom was that July 5th? Oh, whoa. I have it scribbled here, July 5th, but I'm like, that can't be. Okay, so one more time. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so, Burgos, hello. Mother, hello. And Burgos, and why didn't you tell me you were coming here? Mother, and did I have to ask your permission? Burgos, it's not that. That being taken by surprise right now is not an intelligent person to be doing that. Mother, why? Burgos, because you know that these people are attentive to everything that one does, one's faces, reactions. Oh, so you care about that. Are you watching Grizzly True Crime in your cell, bro? Or are you looking at Facebook or what? Anyway, Mother, I'm very happy. Calm down there with Guillermina. Burgos, what matters to me is me. You understand me? Think, please. Use your head for a moment. I mean, way to speak to your mom, bro. Which is like the only one showing up from what we know to support you. Okay? What matters to me is me. You understand me? Think, please. Use your head for a moment. Nothing would have cost you to tell me, look, I'm going there so you could see me. Don't be surprised. This and that. Yeah. But you fall there without telling anyone anything, and then you're there laughing with me. Nobody knows you. You don't have 3, 4, 5 cameras right there in your face. Okay then, Burgos. You see, he does like control. He does. The prosecution is 100% right with it. This guy tries to control everything. He's a coercive controller for sure. This guy, oh my word. I mean, he's even like, why the heck would you arrive there? I didn't give you permission. He needs to give everyone permission, especially a woman, huh, to do anything. Rochelle says he had this woman under his spell. Jenna said, did they remove today's video from Law and Crime? I don't think so. They've just ended their stream, so sometimes it takes a little while to process before you can watch the replay. That's normal. That happens sometimes. Why would they remove it? We also heard today, so those were phone calls. Did we? We didn't hear 3 phone calls though from Amy, right? We heard 2. And 1 from his mother, which they half cut off. So there was that. And then we know now his inmate number is 3804. Do not contact him. If one of you is in his fan club, please, please don't be here. Oh, hell no. We are not fans, okay, of killers. Burgos, gross. We are here to support the family and friends of Grizelda Hernandez, 27 years old, murdered April 9, 2018, and Dominic Hernandez, 18 months old. Wow. And so we heard also, if you guys, you guys are like, gee, her name is, and then you're just writing it all out. Do you know me at all, is my question. I'm not going to be doxing some lady out there who's having some inappropriate relationship with Burgos, no matter what. Even if it's like, why is she doing that? Z is what I'm calling her. I don't want to write a whole name out as much as the court was like, her name is. And I'm like, oh dear. Oh dear. And I hope Amy has changed her number because everybody's going to be like, ring, ring. Please don't. If you watched here, please don't. But I'm sure someone out there is going to be calling her. Oh no. Anyway, Z. There was an email that they talked about from February 12th of 2023. And Burgos wrote, I just scribbled down a few things. I told you not to talk on that matter. Or not to touch on that matter. Don't say anything, okay? I've got a phone, I've got a tablet, so I just wrote that down because I was like, oh, he's like, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm fine in here. I have a phone, I have a tablet and everything. And then he said if she wants to see me, she can Google it. Oh, you're popular now on Google, huh? Well, he is, unfortunately, but if you want to see me, if she wants to see me, she can Google it. I think he was talking about Amy to this lady Z. And he said something about my mother didn't take care of me like she should. Then he said, as a woman, she effing sucks, which I think again was talking about Amy. And he said, to me, she's a traitor, period. Now she has to suffer like all the other single moms. Okay, oh no, now she has to suffer because she's such a... What? She has to suffer like all the other moms? Yeah, because of you, bro. Like, look in the mirror. You, the killer. Wow, wow. Okay. And then we also heard another email that was read out from Burgos to Z on December 10th of 2022. He did not enjoy any of this. We liked it that he didn't enjoy that. And he said, I don't care about your exes from SA, which would be San Antonio. He also doesn't care about her exes from anywhere else. He listed a whole bunch of places. He then tells her, here's a box. So he's like giving her a nice little analogy, a visual. Here's a box. Put that one in there. Like he's naming the ex, put that one in there. How about that one? Put your little fan club in the box. Then he's going to get on a plane, and he talks about like military or whatever. He's going to get on a cargo plane and then fly over the Pacific Ocean and then kick that box out of the cargo plane to land in the ocean and sink. Wow. He's going to kick the box out and her little fan club, and this will sink deep into the Pacific Ocean. Oh, discard. We see what you want to do there. Just like he doesn't want to hear about any of her exes. Very, very jealous guy and very inappropriate. All the time. All the time. Okay, so that is what I've scribbled down. I'll have to go listen again to scribble down any more of it. But I'm like, what? We were all like... all of us, yes. Okay, so any pieces, that entire convo was about Amy, which I think will be devastating to her. Okay, but dare to be different, could we not write her name, please? Let's not write her name. We don't want innocent people on the outside to now be chased down by the internet. Have you not seen how it goes in other cases? See, Olivo says, you are an amazing host. Thank you, Grizzly. Love from Canada. Thank you so much. Lotus Flowers says, snippy, snappy lol. That's how we described this afternoon in the court. That really got... We don't need any snark for ourselves today. We could just rewatch that and be like, whoa, that was hectic. So Julie says, I would like to know how much the defense is paying Dr. Gupta for his testimony and lies. Is he lying? What's he lying about? What? Like, I just think it backfired a bit because they're like, psychosis and testosterone. But it's just like, whoa, what they achieved was major embarrassment for Burgos. And possibly lawsuits for the doctor who actually prescribed that cocktail of things. Which someone actually, I missed that earlier. Wait, someone in chat said something like, let me just get it. Where is it? Wait for it. Oh. Monica said, from Laredo here, the doctor who he saw is known to prescribe that. Every law enforcement officer sees him for this. Interesting. Sandy says, why do you think the judge allowed the defense to call Dr. Gupta? Does this phase not follow the typical prosecutor arrest? It does, but then the judge said due to scheduling problems. So I think Dr. Gupta was only there for that time and that's it. So tomorrow, I think that Dana Sarkis from the Webb County Sheriff's Office, the one who monitors all the emails and calls of the inmates. That must be a very interesting job. Oh my word. I think she'll be back tomorrow so that she can be cross-examined by probably Willie. Sorry, I'm just saying that because Dr. Gupta's like, yeah, he's sitting right there, right next to Willie. That's him. Like, oh man. He's like, Boggs. And he's like, sorry, what? That was a good moment of the day. Sometimes we need the little highlights in this grim topic and in this long, tardy court time. Mama 4 says, thank you for all your hard work, Grizzly and mods. Thank you so much. And so, I think she'll be back, and then, I don't know if it'll be... Eduardo was very quiet today, huh? Very, very quiet. Today and yesterday, I think. And she'll be cross-examined, questioned, and then there'll be the questioning again from the prosecution, and then the prosecution will rest their case. That's what I'm gathering. So it seems like Jaden will not be testifying, which is Grizelda's eldest son, and he's 12 years old now. Someone had said from the courtroom that he's too nervous. So it's totally understandable. Melissa says he smiled and waved at his friend that testified against him, and he's worried about his mom coming to court. That's true as well. Good point, Melissa. Do you guys remember that? I was from... Ooh, what was his friend's name? Was it like Mercado or something? Mercado. I think it was Agent Mercado. Am I right? Anyway, but he was like, hey, bestie, almost like, ooh, hi. Yeah, but true. He's worried about his mom coming to court. Yes. DKM says this is streaming on Law and Crime. It's streaming here. But yes, they've got the cameras. It's Court TV's cameras. Law and Crime streams it, as well as the local news, of course. They've also got media there, so we are streaming it from there as well, from KGNS News. So if you don't know about local news, I always like to support the local news stations as well. So if you want to go subscribe over there, KGNS News. They stream this every day with their cameras in the courtroom. This is not something like Letitia Stark was on WebEx. So that was great as well to get all different angles, many different camera angles. This is what we get is what we get. Yes. Okay. G Plus says, KK, yes, they talked about her confronting him about G. I'm lost. Oh, Terry says, I thought he said Amy didn't take care of him like a woman should. Is that what he said? Oh, no, that's even worse. Don't get me started on that. Like a woman should. You will have meals for me every day, woman. He's probably one of those, like, women belong in the kitchen. She's like, I outrank you, bro. Like, what? Wow. Oh, thank you. Barbara says, I think you are correct in the neighbor's name. I'm going to get a star on my forehead for that. I'll be like, I knew it. Just remember how he was like, hello. Okay. So, Marie says, gee, the drug combination is commonly used by bodybuilders sourced from dodgy suppliers. I can imagine. And I mean, I think he was using his eggplant emoji so much that he just needed a little bit more libido. Huh? Oh my word, this guy. I mean, what a friggin' combination of prescription drugs. Huh? What was it? Let's go again. It was testosterone, that phentermine, and that other one. Wait for it. Oh, no wonder. I'm like, where did I write this down? Phentermine, testosterone, and Aridomex. He wanted to be buff. He wanted to be lean and buff and with high libido, clearly. Okay. Now this is interesting, actually. Laurie says, was his mother still in court after his phone call to her? Let's pay attention to that. I don't know. I didn't even know exactly who his mom was in the courtroom. I don't want to assume anything, but someone has just emailed me a picture to say this is the mom and this is the grandma, so I'll have a look again. And if I can point it out, if they are there, I will let you know. Oh no, Dave. When will Roro get his conjugal visits? Hopefully never. Hopefully never. Marcia says, I'm lost about the throwing the box. This was to a girlfriend, I think. It was someone that he's having a relationship with. But through emails, it sounds like. So he's very jealous of all her exes and wants her to visualize putting all her exes in a box, and then he's going to kick the box. It's a whole visual exercise. He's clearly a visual learner. He's like, put them in a box there. I'll take the box, and then I'm going to He's also very immature. But he's going to take this box and put it on a cargo plane and fly out to the Pacific Ocean, then kick that box out, and he's going to let that box sink so deep into the ocean. Okay, that's how jealous he is of all of her exes. Even though she's paying him attention in prison, jail, sorry, Webb County Jail, in protective custody, he's still like, who are your exes? Because I will put them all in a box. Wow, this guy. Rosemary J says, Gee, you are doing such a great job as always. Thank you so much. Walkabout Bridge said he's all ego. Absolutely, he really is all ego. Well, I hope you guys had a good day with me in court again. I'll see you again in court tomorrow. I quite like it. Today, Copper Horse on Patreon said, see you in court. And I'm like, see you in court. I will see all of you in court tomorrow. When I say that to Mr. Grizzly, he's like, what? He doesn't like it like we do. See you in court. Yes. Walkabout Bridge says, thanks for taking notes, G. Always scribbling what I can. Yes. And if there's anything else that I remember or that I go over again, we'll look at it again tomorrow. But tomorrow, the prosecution should rest their case. Then it's up to the defense. So I'm thinking, could the jury decide? This could be longer, though. They could deliberate for way longer. They will. Longer than 4 hours and 5 minutes, I'm thinking. So what's today? Today's day. I mean, the day is... Okay, for me, it's already Wednesday. For you guys, it's Tuesday. So if the prosecution rests their case on Wednesday and the defense has another witness, maybe. I don't think they're going to really have anyone else, right? Who else are they bringing? Cool. Well, is it then tomorrow? Could it be? Could it be tomorrow that the jury gets instructions again and starts deliberating for, are they going to recommend the death penalty or not? Maybe this could be wrapped up by the end of the week. Who knows? Who knows? I'm enjoying it with all of you. And we are here for Grizelda and Dominic's family and friends. Of course, we're here for the defendant's family and friends too. I mean, shame. Yes. Okay. So, thank you so much, mods, for everything you do. Really, really appreciate it. Now, I have not yet set up the stream for tomorrow. I will do that after this. So, make sure that you are subscribed. Put the bell on. Okay? That is for you. That's not for me. You're not doing me favors by putting the bell on. That's for you. You can subscribe. That's pretty cool. I love it when you become part of the community officially. Okay? Subscribe, hit the bell, and then as soon as you see it, click notify me so that it will notify you tomorrow. Normally half an hour before I go live and when I go live. So I'm going to set it again for 9 o'clock. I don't believe they'll start at 1:45. They never have, not one time. Imagine if one time they surprise us. I'll be ready, but imagine if it's like, oh, they started at 9:45. That'll be the biggest shocker so far in the trial. Doubt that's going to happen though. And so I'll set that up. I'll do the timestamps as always. If you really, really want to secure notifications, Patreon's a place to go for that. You will always get them on email there. And I update you as I go. Like today, I put a notification there to say, okay, now we are live. The court has started again because we were waiting for a long time. And by the way, if you think I forgot about that less than 10-minute break, it was 25 minutes. 25 indeed. We know by now 10 means 25 in Laredo. If I ever do cover more trials in this area, I'll know. I'll be prepared about how the timing works there. So thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you, mods, patrons, members, and everyone. All the new subscribers. Let me turn off slow-mo. That's always fun in the outro. Do you agree? It's always wild and fun in the outro. Then you could just chat as fast as you like. Okay, slow mode's going off. Here we go. And let's just quickly look. Subscribe. You could subscribe for any duration. Okay, if you just click subscribe, start chatting. Here we go, everyone. Night. Get some rest. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye.